is your 2-minute warning. 2 minutes! If you haven't already, please turn on your cameras. Visibility is accountability. Get that last bit of hydration and get your notepad and pens ready. We'll see you in 1 minute and 45 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Virtual GoPro 2021, where today's top network marketing professionals are born. Are you ready? Are you ready? Please welcome to the stage your host, Fabian. Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Daniel Ritz, I can see you. Good morning. Amber Treat, I can see you. Julie Bauer, I can see you. Cassandra Merriman, how are you? How are you guys? Ladies and gentlemen, fellow network marketers from all around the world, it is time for the Virtual GoPro 2021. Guys, I'm so excited for the next 3 days because I know this event is going to change lives. New leaders will be born. New ranks will be hit. New dreams will be fulfilled. This event is one of a kind, and I'm so excited to share the next 3 days with you. You will hear from some of the most amazing speakers in the network marketing industry. You will have several sessions with, I like to call him the godfather of network marketing, Mr. Eric Worre himself. We will have several keynote speakers who are masters at their craft. You will hear from Marina Worre as well. So we have some very, very exciting days ahead of us. But before we start, what I love the most about the network marketing industry is we're all family. We're all one big team. We're one big community. We share the right mindset, the same values. Right now, we might all be strangers, but at the end of this event, we will all be family. And I want to quote one of my very dear friends, Fraser Brooks, and you will see him later on. And he always likes to say, network marketing turns strangers into friends and friends into family. And I want to speed up that process today a little bit. So if it's okay for you, by show of hands, tell me if we take 2 minutes, that 60,000 people learn more about each other and we all speed up the process. Is that fine of you? Please show your hand. I can see you. Okay, thank you. Perfect, awesome. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Sandeep. So what we're going to do is pretty simple. On the count of 3, you will just type your name into the chat. You also can write your name down on a piece of paper and you can hold it into the camera if you want to. So it will be seen on the big screen as well, okay? On the count of 3, I want to see the chat explode. I want to see your name on the screen. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Type in your name. Oh, look at that. Jeffrey, Cynthia, Deborah, Raquel, Laura, Carly, Shanti, Kelly, Valerie, Jennifer, over here, Felipe, Guillermo, Tony. Man, 60,000 people writing your name. How crazy is that? Show some love, guys. Show some love. Hit those like buttons. Amazing. Here's number 2. Now we know how we all called, we know our names, but we don't know where we are from. So the second thing is, on the count of 3, I want you to type the country where you are from. And we have more 100 countries today live, so please, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Which country are you from? Australia, USA, Canada, Israel, United Kingdom, Malaysia, Germany, Iceland, Tahiti, Romania, Malaysia, USA again, Philippines, Sweden, Belgium, Jordan, Cancun, amazing. But Cancun isn't a country, isn't it? But it's a very nice place anyways. Yeah. So guys, super excited. Thank you very much for sharing. And here's one last thing I'm going to ask from you. This time on the count of 3, I want you to type what do you expect from this event. But I want you to use just small words, 1, 2, or 3 words. For example, be a leader, fulfill my dream, become a network marketing professional, be motivated, be inspired, things like that. Are you ready to do that? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Overcome fear, growth, belief, be motivated, clarity on goals, momentum, become a pro. Let's go. Inspiration, be inspired, growth, momentum, learn the skills, get motivated, how to be a leader, be inspired, become a pro, change your life. Guys, you are amazing. Thank you very much for working with me this morning. Now it's time to introduce myself as well. My name is Fabian Fitzner. I'm a fellow network marketing pro as you, but this weekend I will be your MC and host. So that means we will spend some time together. I would love to tell you a little bit about my story and my past very quickly, because this event has changed my life. And the story I'm about to tell you, I call it the story of the leather jacket. And I have the leather jacket actually over here. I brought it as a little prop to remind me how powerful those events are. 8 years ago, I was a classical entrepreneur. My wife and I, we had fitness clubs on Canary Islands. We did that business quite successfully, but then financial crisis hit. How many of you remember the big recession between 2009 and 2012? By show of hands, or type in the chat. Okay, you just outed yourself that you're over 30 years old. Okay, the young guys don't remember. I'm 40 years now, so yes, I do. So what happened is, we couldn't afford to pay our employees anymore, so because of that financial crisis, nobody came to the gym. So we needed to take a decision, and we said, you know what, let's move on. And I looked around and I found network marketing. And I was so amazed by that industry that we said, hey, let's sell the gyms and let's go all in. Take the money from the sale and live 2 years of that money and build it big. Was a great idea, right? So we moved back from Canary Islands, from Spain to Germany. And the plan was pretty well. The only thing we didn't plan was that the guy we sold the gym to had a different plan. He never paid us. So we moved back to Germany, and we had zero money on the account, and we had zero network. But we had a dream. We had a vision. But to be honest, for around 1.5 years, I was struggling a lot. I thought I know what to do. I was driven, but I just didn't have the tools. So my mentor came one day and said, we need to fly to the United States. There's a generic event going on. There's a guy, he will teach you everything you need to know to become a network marketing professional. Sounds great. Thought like my mindset, I'm in, but how? I didn't even have money. How can I pay for a hotel? How can I pay for a flight, flying from Germany to the US? But you know what? As an entrepreneur, you don't focus on problems. You focus on solutions. We had a flight attendant on the team. And she made it happen that we could fly on what's called standby. For those of you who are not familiar, that actually means the flight attendant says, hey, I want to jump on that flight. If there's a free spot, can you take me? So we're sitting at the airport just waiting and hoping that any flight will actually have a spare seat so we could fly. First one went off, second one worked. So we went in, and we had an amazing seat. It's called the jump seat. I don't know if you heard about that. The jump seat is the little seat you actually flip down on taxi, takeoff, and landing where the flight attendants sit. So they had a few of them because the crew was not fully packed, which means we were standing for 12 hours on the airplane. But hey, we made it to the US for a very, very cheap price. We shared a hotel room with 3 big dudes and 1 queen-size bed because we couldn't afford it, but it was worth it. The event really changed my life. I finally knew what to do. I went home and I started working. But before I went home, I went to a mall because you need to know here in Las Vegas, there are amazing outlet malls. So I went to the mall and I couldn't shop because I didn't have money. So I walked through the mall and I've seen that leather jacket store. And that's where the leather jacket comes into play. I walk in and I see that jacket I always wanted to have. But in my country, it's like $300. I couldn't afford that. But hey, it was an outlet store, $60 only. So I called my wife and I said, Nika, her name is Veronica, shout out to Veronica, sitting in Dubai right now. Thank you. Babe, I need that jacket. I sent her a picture and he says, no. And you know who the boss is in relationships, right? So we just cannot afford it. If you buy a jacket for $60, we just spend everything we had for that flight. We won't have enough afterwards, maybe for food next week. I bought it anyways. I went home and we had a big fight about it. And the only fights we had in our career were always about money. And I don't know if any one of you guys can relate, but if the financial situation is not good, you start fighting very often in relationships. So I started to apply everything I learned at that event. And I started to grow, and for the next 2 years, I was all in. I didn't even think about the jacket anymore. And it was working. We reached one of the highest ranks in our company. 2 years later, actually, we hit our 7 figures for the first time, accumulated, and it was a blast. And then we had a company convention back in the US. So we flew out. This time, we didn't fly on the jump seat. This time, we flew business. We participated at the event. It was amazing. And afterwards, before we flew home, we actually also went shopping. This time, I bought 3 suits. My wife bought a few dresses. We had a lot of shoes, you can imagine. And as we're leaving that mall, fully packed with bags, and walking towards the exit, I had to stop and I looked to the right, and guess what I saw? It was exactly the same mall I was in 2 years before. And I turned to the right and I see that leather jacket store. And I drop all the bags, and I start crying, and I realized how much my life has changed due to that single event. So, my wish for you is exactly that. I know this event can and will change your life if you are ready to go all out, if you are ready to put in the work. We have seen it so many times. Okay, guys, we have to go into a few things, a little bit of housekeeping now, make sure that everyone knows like how the thing works here during the next days, during this morning. And first of all, I would also welcome all the Facebook viewers out there. We have a free stream right now for the first 2 hours. Welcome, guys, on Facebook, on YouTube, and so on. We're excited to have you here. A very, very important thing. This is a no recruiting zone, okay? This is a safe place. That just means We know everybody loves their company and their badges and their products and their shirts. But if you are in an open room, not in a company room, that's fine. But if you're in an open room, please make sure, do not share any links, do not put your company stuff and everything into the camera. Okay, let's keep the integrity of that event because we all want to grow together. So do I get a yes from everybody? Can we just have a 1 in the chat if you agree? Just type a 1 in the chat if that's fine for you. Thank you very much. Awesome. The next thing is you have to be present. What do I mean by that? Turn your phones off because it's so easy to be distracted. I know you're in the comfort of your home. Everybody's sitting in front of the computer right now, and maybe the kids are screaming in the back, the pet is running around, the neighbor is having a construction place in his apartment, whatever. Turn your phone off. Do whatever you can to be the next 3 days present. Also, sit your family down. Talk to them. Hey, for the next 3 days, actually, I have to be in this event focused, present, because I want to change our lives. So involve them in the whole thing. Stay focused. Don't let the chat be a distraction. I know it's very cool to talk with all the people in the chat and actually have an answer to every question. But again, don't start chatting for the chat, okay? Stay very focused on what you learn here. So next thing, if you're hungry, my advice would be just order Uber Eats or any other delivery service, but don't go in the kitchen and start cooking, even though I'm pretty sure some of you are very good cooks, chefs, right? And the next thing, and that's one of my absolute favorites, 100%. I need you to agree that we will give 100%. And I will tell you why. I will tell you why. I know you guys want to learn. But sometimes we have to trick our mind and we have to trick our body. So what happens right now, you are in what we call the attention mode, which means you are in attention. You want to learn. You're focused. You're present. Everything's fine. All the information goes straight into your brain and it will be saved. But you know what happens after 45 minutes? Your state will change. Your state will change into something what I like to call the movie mode. And you might relate to that, the movie mode. Everything becomes a little more comfortable. You lean back. Information is not getting into the brain anymore. 45 minutes later, you're going to change again, and this time into something that is called popcorn mode. And the popcorn mode looks a little bit like that. So information is like popcorn actually slamming against your head. Another one passes left, another one passes on the right, but it's not getting in there anymore, okay? So that's why we're going to do a lot of exercises. And trust me, we need to do those exercises together. So what we're going to do now is like one exercise you will see me doing with you all weekend long, and this one is pretty easy. So what I'm going to say is, please everybody get, I'm going to do a double clap, up. I want you to do the double clap with me, and then you stand up with 100%. Can we do that? All right, here we go. So please, everybody, stand up. There we go. Everybody stand up, stand up, stand up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys, so that wasn't really 100%, but as we're standing already, let me show you why it's so important to give 100%. So as we're all standing right now, please slowly sit down, but only 99%. Sit down 99%. You can touch the chair, but don't sit down. Just touch it, keep in the position. How many of you want to give 100% now? Okay, give 100% and just sit down. Perfect. Awesome. So you see, it's very important to give 100% at all times because the speakers will do the same for you. Next one, you have to show up. Be there. You paid for the ticket, you want to change your life, so make sure you don't miss any session because the sessions build up on each other. To miss a little is to miss a lot. Have water and snacks nearby. Also stay connected. If you're in our Facebook groups and Telegram groups, make sure, because there we will have updates for you during the event. Be on the laptop, not on the phone. Have your cameras on at all times. Have your audio on at all times. And your go-to source, and you will see that now on the back, is your dashboard. The dashboard is where everything lives this week. You will have PDFs, the help desk, the support, and you will have different resources. And now, ladies and gentlemen, one last announcement before we get the first speakers on stage. We have a lot of amazing giveaways today. So make sure that you're always on time, because those giveaways will always be given away to those who are actually on time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the crew is ready. The speakers are ready. Network marketers around the world, are you ready? Then please welcome on stage the two people who changed the network marketing world, not once, not twice, but 3 times. The first time by launching the book GoPro 7 Steps of Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. The second time by inventing GoPro Recruiting Mastery. And the third time by inventing Virtual GoPro. Here are for you, Eric and Marina Worre!
Network marketing history, you're all part of it. Let me see some hands. Let me see some hands. If you're ready to go, you're ready to make this go. Angela's kind of thinking about it. She's moving the hands, but just kind of. Great to see everybody. We're excited. This is going to be the most epic 3 days you've ever been a part of. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be special. But to start this off, let me introduce and have her open up the show. This is really the house that Marina built. This studio was built a year ago as a kind of a response to COVID, but it's turned into a global phenomenon. So Marina Worre, give her a round of applause, everybody.
So first of all, I just want to say that I'm so blessed and I'm so excited for next 3 days, because we have people from all over the world. I don't even know how many countries we have. We have almost 70,000 people who are connecting us from all the continents, from pretty much every country, and we're translating it in multiple languages. But what I'm most excited about is this event is about the breakthrough, the transformation that it's going to happen for all of you for the next 3 days. It's going to be so powerful and so amazing. Like Fabian said, like Fabian said, if you play full out, if you give your 100%, you will be amazed how much you can transform in the next 3 days. Because this studio just happened to be one of the, like Eric said, the responses to COVID situation. And because, we had an event that we were hoping to have live, and then the whole pandemic changed everybody's lives, and we're still dealing with this problem. But what we did is we created the opportunity for all of us to come together. And I'm sure you already heard that from Eric before, the formula for success that he and I share together. It's say yes, tell the world, and figure it out. So what I want you to think about in the next 3 days, who do you want to become? Who do you want to become in your network marketing career? Who do you want to become in your life? Who do you want to become as a spouse or as a significant other, for your friends, for your family, for your team? And say yes to that person. Say yes to that person. Say yes to those dreams. Say yes to all the transformation that it's about to happen. Don't worry about how. A lot of people confuse the two, and they want to think about like, oh, how it's going to happen, how I'm going to make it next rank, how I'm going to achieve the next income level, or whatever it might be. Don't worry about the how. Just make a decision what you want it to be, what your dream is, what your life look like, and who do you want to become. And during those 3 days, we're going to help you. We're going to equip you with the tools and ideas necessary so you can go out, and after those 3 days, don't do it yet, but 3 days from now, go out and tell the world. Tell the world about your dreams. Tell the world about who you're about to become. And then figure it out. So, Eric, this is your show. I'm a guest. So I'm giving it back to you.
Everybody, give Marina Worre a big round of applause. You don't know how much goes on.
Let's crush it.
She makes it happen. Love you. All right. Okay, if you're excited, if you're ready to get into some training, if you're ready to start this process, put a number 7 into the comments. Let me see all the 7s. Let me see. Cool. Very exciting. You know what's so fun? As I'm looking at all of you up on the screen, I see people driving. Please be safe while you're driving. I see people with kids. I see people with pets. If you have one of your pets, show your pets up on the screen. If the kids are around, show the kids. If your spouse is around, show your spouse. But it's great to see everybody all around the world. As Marina said, we have approximately 70,000 people from over 100 different countries around the world. I looked 2 days ago and I lost count, but it has to be 1,000 different companies that are represented. People didn't think this was even possible to do, to bring a group of people together like this around the world. So I'm proud of all of you. I'm proud of the team for helping to make this happen. And I want to start this process by, number one, telling you network marketing is not perfect. It has its challenges. It's judged. It's misunderstood. It's emotional. It's hard sometimes. But if you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, there is no better place to be on earth. There's no better situation for the average person to express their entrepreneurial hopes and dreams than this profession. There's no place ever. I'll take the Pepsi challenge with anyone. I will debate anyone, anytime. There's no better opportunity. And there's a phenomenon happening in the world today. You know what that phenomenon is? People went home because of the pandemic, and they stayed home. They said, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to that job that doesn't appreciate me. I'm tired of selling myself at 5% of my potential or 10% of my potential. I found a way to be able to work from home. There's never been a more golden time for network marketing than right now, than this moment. Never, ever been a more golden time, because the whole world is searching for a way to be able to earn from home. You have a gift. It's like there's been a global flood. And in that global flood, we have an unlimited supply of life rafts. And all we have to do today to be successful, we don't have to be tremendously gifted. We don't have to be unbelievably talented. You know what we have to be? Busy, active. We have to be talking to people. There's people within 1 mile from you. There's people that are friends with you on social media or follow you on different platforms. There are people right now that are praying for a solution to the situations that are going on in their lives. And you have the solution. So, number one, we have to be busy. Number two, you need to be proud that we're in this great spot. But I will tell you this. What we're going to do over these 3 days is we're going to equip you. We're going to empower you. We're going to help you become prepared to take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you. Some of you have been operating below your potential, and you're sick of it. Raise your hands if you're sick of operating below your potential inside of this profession. You're already in. Now, what are we going to do in order to be able to make this amazing, right? So that's what this is all about. And I want to start today by giving you 7 different, there's a little echo issue. They're addressing it. They'll make it work. They'll figure it all out. It's better? Tell me if it's, give me a number 1 in the comments if it's better now. Cool. All right, cool. So some of you needed to hear what I just said twice, so you got to hear it through the echo. Twice. Anyway. Listen, the biggest thing, guess what today is about? The biggest thing that changed my life in network marketing. I'm going to give you 7 steps to going pro, But the biggest thing by far is what happened to me. It took me 3.5 years of full-time working in network marketing to get to this stage. But you know what the stage was? I was frustrated. I was full-time. I was frustrated. I was blaming everybody else for my lack of success. I was complaining about my situation. I was beating myself up. Maybe I'm not right for this. And I remember sitting in an event just like this. Well, not just like this, but a big event. Okay? A big event. And I said, you know what? I'm going to become world class at this business. I'm going to become an expert, not just in theory, but in practice in this profession. Because I was watching people walk across the stage and I said, why not me? And I made a decision. What I want you to understand today and this weekend is about you making a decision. Now, I thought that I'd made a decision a bunch of times because I'd been involved full time in network marketing for 3.5 years. I thought I made a decision, but in truth, there were some things that could knock me out. If my top person on my team quit, or if my upline was mean to me, or if I wasn't appreciated appropriately, or whatever it was, there was something that could knock me out of moving forward in my business. When I made the decision, I got to tell you something. When I made the decision, Esther, when I made the decision, Chelsea, when I made the decision, Ania or Ania, when I made that decision, guess what happened? All the fear and doubt and insecurity left my body. It was gone. I made the decision and I had a plan. I was able to move forward once I made the decision. Things became clear. The decision's really hard to get to. Some of you, that decision might be made some point during these three days. Some of you have made it already. Some of you are going to make it a week from today. But once you make it, I went from a 6-figure earner to a 7-figure earner in 18 months. Once I made the decision. Oh, that's not true. Not 18 months. 3 years. It took me 3 years to get to 7 figures from just barely at 6 figures. But I went from struggling, hoping to get lucky, to having a plan. So decision is everything. Write that into your notes. Make a decision. There's a lot of decisions you're going to need to make over the course of this weekend in terms of how you're going to move forward in your business. Now, let me get into the 7 keys. Now, decisions involved in all of them, but the 7 keys for you going pro. Number 1, and these are not in any necessarily order of importance, but these are 7 things that I've seen that make a difference for people as they're building their network marketing business. Number 1 is environment. Your environment will have a dramatic impact. And what do I mean by your environment? I mean the people that you allow into your life, the influences that you allow into your life, the sounds and the visuals that you allow into your life. For some of you, your environment is not serving you. Binge watching Netflix or listening to negative voices in the world or divisive voices in the world is not serving you. Some of you are hanging around people that are specifically trying to hold you back. Your environment is critical. So it has to do with your associations, the people you spend time with. It has to do with shielding yourself from negative influence and inputting as much positive influence as you possibly can. And it has to do with your community. Your community. For these 3 days, we're all part of this community. But when these 3 days end, you need to make sure that you're involved in a community that will support you and push you to do what you're capable of doing. So your environment's very, very important. You've got to take charge of your environment. You have to take charge of your environment. So that's number one. Number two, skills. Your skills. When people ask me, what should I do? I'm just getting started in network marketing. What should I do for success? My answer is always the same. Learn the skills. Learn the fundamentals that you need to understand when it comes to finding prospects and inviting them to take a look and presenting to them in a way that they can understand it. Educating the world, which is what we do. How to follow up, how to answer questions, how to overcome objections, how to close, how to get customers signed up, how to get distributors joining your organization, how to get people started effectively, how to promote events. Those are the 7 fundamental skills. But you need to learn about duplication. You need to learn about promotion. You need to learn about the things that will serve you. And here's why. Here's why this is so important. The reason why skills are, in my opinion, one of the most important keys to going pro is because when you become skilled at something, your confidence goes up. The tiniest little thing. And when your confidence goes up, you take more action. And when you take more action, you get more results. And it makes you want to go learn more skills. If you're just out there trying to get lucky, if I learned how to tell my story when I first got involved in network marketing. That was my first little skill. I learned how to tell my story. And once I got it down and I practiced, I got it down, I was able and I was willing to tell it to more people. I told my story to my family. I told my story to my kids. I told my story to my spouse. I told my story to my downline. I told my story to prospects. I told my story anywhere I could possibly tell my story. I'd tell it at the beginning of a phone call. I'd tell it when we sat down for coffee. I would tell it when we start a little presentation. I'd tell it everywhere. So skills build confidence. Confidence causes you to take more action. Action causes you to get more results. And it's a virtuous cycle. Up, up, up you go. The second thing I got to tell you is there are different skills for different seasons in network marketing. A lot of people don't realize this, but it's the truth. 3 broad stages in a network marketing career. 3 broad stages in a network marketing career. Stage number 1, $0 to $100,000 a year. And guess what this stage is defined by? Learning the basic fundamental skills and working your butt off. That's what that stage is defined by. And it's a little bit of a mind trick because when you join network marketing, they tell you, well, you're going to have time freedom and you're going to have residual income and you're going to have duplication and you're going to have all this stuff. Guess what? In stage 1, you don't get any of that. All you get is hard work. Hard work. And your life is going to swing out of balance. You're not going to have time freedom in the first stage. You got to work your butt off and you have to learn the skills. Okay? That's what stage 1 is defined by. Stage 2, broadly speaking, is 100,000 to $1 million. And let me tell you what that stage is defined by. It's defined by duplication and promotion. You can't just keep working hard with the basic fundamental skills and hope to go to $1 million. You can get to 100,000, but to get to $1 million, you're going to hear from tons of $1 million earners over the course of these 3 days. To get to $1 million, you've got to learn how to duplicate yourself, and you have to learn how to promote within your organization. Promote events, promote your product, promote your system, promote your tools, promote your company, promote an activity. You got to learn about duplication and promotion. You got to lean into that in addition to the fundamental skills. And phase 3 in your network marketing business, phase 3 in your network marketing business is $1 million and above. $1 million and above. Now, to grow your business, once you're at $1 million, it's not just about duplication and promotion anymore. It becomes about leadership development in yourself and leadership identification, mentorship, and communication on your team. The duplication of more leaders on your team. The more true leaders you have on the team, the higher your income can go. Going from the million to 2 million, 2 million to 3 million, 3 million to 4 million. That all has to do with leadership in yourself and leadership duplication on your team. So throw into the chat, what stage are you in right now? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3? Some 1s, some 3s, some 2s. Congratulations, 3s. And I gotta ask, how many of you that are in stage 1 are ready to make a decision to get yourself into stage 2? Show me some hands if you're ready to get yourself into stage 2. Let's get that 6-figure thing done. And how many in stage 2 are sick and tired of sitting around at that 6-figure thing? You want to get the 7-figure thing done. How many people would like to do that? Let me see some hands, some of the 6-figure earners. I see you. Let's get that 7-figure thing done. All right, so skills. Environment's number 1. Skills number 2. Third thing, you need to learn now more than ever. You have to learn to adapt to change quickly. Most people hate change. Guess what the best entrepreneurs in the world do? They adapt to change quickly. What did we have to do? It was September of last year, and we had GoPro coming up. We saw what happened in the world, and we made a decision, and we built this studio in order to be able to reach the world. That's an example of adapting to change quickly. But today, in network marketing, guess what? If you're not actively utilizing social media, if you're not actively utilizing technology, if you put your head in the sand and you're waiting for things to come back to what they used to be, you're going to get demolished. Right now, network marketing is a tale of two cities. There are those who are waiting for face-to-face to come back. They're praying for it to happen. And those who have just adapted quickly and said, I'm going to utilize social media. I'm going to, yes, when we can get back face-to-face, I'll still utilize that. But you got to learn. If TikTok is where people are getting recruits, we got to talk about TikTok. I don't care if you like it or not. We have to adapt. We have to adapt to different strategies. We have, just like we've adapted to Zoom in order to be able to connect with people, we've got to adapt. So what I want you to pay attention to, this key, adapting to change quickly. You need to prepare yourself and to prepare your teams, because who knows what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. There'd be holograms walking around on the sidewalk. We don't know. We have no idea. But wherever it goes and whatever we need to do in order to be able to serve our teams and reach our community and help people with our opportunity, we've got to be willing to adapt quickly. Some of your compensation plans in your companies need to change because the times have changed. And you've got to, instead of fighting that and being afraid of it and being scared and having a scarcity mentality, you've got to embrace the fact that some change is going to need to happen. Your products may need to change. The commissions on those products may need to change. 1,000 things could happen, but here's the thing. If you decide right now, I'm going to be ready to change, I'm going to pay attention to what's working in the world right now, and I'm going to prepare my team to be the fastest team in the world when it comes to accepting new things and moving into the future. Show me some hands if you're ready for that. Come on, let me see. Be ready for change. Key number 4, self-investment. Self-investment. Why is this so important? Here's why this is important. You're the asset. You are. It's not the building, and it's not the inventory, and it's not the employees, and it's not the infrastructure. It's you. Show me somebody who does not invest in developing themselves, and I will show you somebody who's operating at 2% of their potential. It makes no sense. Now, you're all here, so you've already agreed with this concept. Hey, I'm going to invest in 3 days. I'm going to invest in growing my business. But you've got to learn some new skills. You need to surround yourself with excellence. You need to make sure that you are operating at your prime. One of my son's best friends plays football in the NFL, okay? And his whole career is based upon the health and the strength of his body. Pull one muscle, and he doesn't get paid. Twist one ankle, and he doesn't get paid. He has to invest in the development and the protection of his body in order to be able to perform. You've got to invest in the development and the protection of your mind, your skills, your strategy, in order to perform at a higher level. And some of you were willing to, how many of you, raise your hands if you went to university, you went to college? Raise your hands, let me see. And put into the chat, how much did you pay to go to college? How much did you pay? Put it in the chat. Let me see. 290,000, 80,000, too much, 65,000, 150,000 in debt, 6 figures, thousands, 25,000, 150,000. Now, how much have you invested in yourself in network marketing? Put that number into the chat. Be honest. Look at the difference between these two numbers. Okay? Now, what did your college degree create for you? The degree itself. What did it create for you? Most of you aren't even using your degree. For most of you, having the degree didn't even get you the job. For most of you, it certainly didn't help you keep the job. But developing the skills here, you can go from phase 1 to phase 2 like that if you develop you. You can go from phase 2 to phase 3 like that. If you treat yourself like an income-producing machine that needs to be refined, honed, developed. Think about this. This is really important. Don't skimp out on you. You're the asset. Number 5, mentors and masterminds. I've learned in my life that a mentor is a priceless thing. A mentor is a priceless thing. And I got to tell you, let me ask you a question. What would you rather have? Okay, I'm going to give you the first one as number 1, and I'll give you the second one as a number 2. So you'll put 1 or 2 into the chat, okay? Would you rather have a mentor that became a close personal friend, that spent personal time with you, maybe came to your house, molded you, challenged you, took you to lunch, took you to breakfast, hung out with you, helped you get better? Or 2, a virtual mentor that you never met, but they gave you great information? What would you rather have, 1 or 2? Almost all ones. Almost all ones. Now, let me tell you a secret about mentors. And the millionaires that you know would agree with this secret. A virtual mentor is better. Way better. And I'll tell you why. Jim Rohn was my biggest mentor in my life. He helped me so much. He's passed away 10 years ago, something like that. Yeah, about 10 years ago. But Jim Rohn was amazing. And imagine Jim Rohn was a close personal friend of the family, and he agreed to come to my house when I was in my 20s, starting off in network marketing, and he had this course called The Challenge to Succeed. And he agreed to come to the house and give me personally the challenge to succeed. I'd sit on the couch and I'd take notes, and he'd give me the presentation. And then he gave me his phone number. I could call him from time to time if I got stuck. Fantastic, unbelievable. Would Jim Rohn come back and give that course to me the next day again? Yes or no? Nod your head or shake your head. Would he come back the next day and give me the same 3 hours again? Nope. What about once a week? Would he do it once a week? Let's say he was really close friends with the family. Nope. Once a month? Nope. Once a year? No. He gave it to me. And I was what I was at that moment. I was able to absorb what I could absorb in that moment. But that was all I got. Here was what happened to me in real life. I didn't know Jim Rohn. I was a struggling young man. But I bought his audio program called The Challenge to Succeed. And I listened to that audio program 1,000 times. It was 3 hours long. So I got 3,000 hours of Mr. Rohn into my brain. Every time I listened to it, I heard something else. I heard something I didn't hear before. 3,000 hours minimum. Which one was more valuable? Jim Rohn coming to my house and being my friend, or Jim Rohn being my mentor and giving me 3,000 hours of him without him even realizing he was my mentor? Now, which one would you want? Him coming to your house, number one, or him being a virtual mentor, number two? Yes, I will tell you, but my greatest mentors were people that I'd never met. Some of my greatest mentors. Now, I ultimately met Jim Rohn and we became friends, but Tony Robbins was a mentor. Elon Musk is a mentor. He doesn't know it. Jeff Bezos is a mentor. He doesn't know it. Tony Robbins is a mentor. We're friends, but he was a mentor to me for 15 years before he even knew I existed. Virtual mentors are priceless. So find yourself somebody that you can learn from, that you can grow with, that you can absorb their information, that you can take advantage of what technology can do virtually instead of having to count on somebody coming to your house and rescuing you. You can be actively involved in your own rescue. You don't need anybody else. So create a group of mentors that are going to direct you into your future. Augmandino, yes, Claire says. Augmandino. He was a huge mentor of mine, and then we became friends. Crazy. You'll attract your mentors, but my friendship was nice. His information as a virtual mentor was life-changing. That's the difference. So I said mentors and masterminds. Mentors are, you can create a group of people that will guide you and direct you in your network marketing journey to save time, to move forward more efficiently. They're like a literal time machine. You engage with this mentor and you become 3 years smarter without being 3 years older. They're literally like a cheat. They're like a shortcut. So mentors, number one. Masterminds, number two. What do I mean by that? Your environment again. Surround yourself with people that are going in the same direction as you. Surround yourself with people that have the same dreams as you. Surround yourself with people that are more successful than you. They will pull you up. So create your own mastermind. For this weekend, we are a mastermind, together, sharing ideas, learning and growing. So mentors and masterminds. Number 6, speed. Speed. Speed is a key. Slow and steady does not win the race. Not for an entrepreneur. Slow and steady will starve you to death. You need to add speed to your network marketing business. Speed in making a decision. Speed in getting something done. Speed in recruiting faster. Speed in getting to a rank faster. Create velocity within your organization. Have your organization be known for speed. Let's do it. Let's sell out our company's next convention. Let's get the people in our organization to the first rank. Let's qualify them for fast start. Michelle Santa Maria says, I speak too fast. Sorry, I get excited. If you think I speak too fast, wait till you get some of the other people coming up. Here's the thing. Speed. Speed. The big myth. I'd rather be the turtle than the rabbit. Not in network marketing. You know, people say, well, you can't beat somebody that won't quit. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If somebody's just like doing this is what they're inch by inch. It's a cinch. You know, I'm going to get to success. Slow and steady wins the race. You know, I don't need to be fast. I just need to stay involved. You know how many people I've known over the course of my life that they're like 5 years into their network marketing journey and they're like, I'm still here. I'm still alive. They haven't rank advanced in forever. They haven't recruited anybody in forever. They haven't added new customers in forever. And they think by hanging around, it's going to create success for them. You've got to put some speed into your business. Recruit 20 people in 30 days. Go on a 90-day run. Those 20 and 30s and 90-day runs changed my life. I'm going to teach you tomorrow why to do a 90-day run and how exactly to do a 90-day run to change your life. Who's ready to change your life? Show me some hands. Let me see. You ready? All right, and number 7. Number 7. You know, number 1, environment. Number 2, skills. Number 3, adapt to change quickly. Number 4, self-investment. Number 5, mentors and masterminds. Number 6, speed. And number 7, ready? Obsession. Obsession. Show me anybody who's ever done anything great without having a level of obsession about accomplishing that goal. And I'm not saying obsession in terms of full time. I'm saying obsession in the time you have. You have 2 hours a day, you're obsessed in those 2 hours. You're dreaming about it, you're thinking about it. When you're having lunch, you're thinking about it. You're obsessing about it, you're focused about it. Steve Martin wrote this great book called Born Standing Up. He said, if you want to be a comedian, your friends need to be comedians. You need to be writing jokes every single day. You need to be performing for all your friends. You need to be thinking about it during lunch, and you need to be thinking about it when you're having a cup of coffee. It needs to consume your brain. That's what I'm talking about. When this starts to consume your brain, you'll go from stage 1 to stage 2. You'll go from stage 2 to stage 3. But I will tell you right now, greatness requires a level of obsession. Show me anyone in the world that's done something great without a level of obsession around what they want to do. I don't believe you can show me that person. So think about, what is your level of obsession right now? Totally obsessed, 100? Not at all, a 1? What are you on a scale of 1 to 100? Put it into the chat. What are you? And could it improve? Show me some hands if it could go up. We let life get in the way. We let this stuff start to mess with us. So those are 7 keys. We're going to be talking a lot about this, about decision, about acceleration, right? About how to think bigger and equip you to actually not just think bigger, Gwendolyn, not just think bigger, David, but to go do it. Christian, we can make it happen. Adriana, this is your time. This is your moment. This is your situation. You don't have to play small anymore. You don't have to live in the excuses anymore, and you don't have to beat yourself up anymore. Here's what I want you to think about right now. This event is about ripping a new page. What has happened prior to today was only meant as an education. It wasn't meant as a stick to beat yourself over the head with, over all the things that you didn't do. I want you to forgive yourself for any lack of action, for any lack of courage, for any lack of rank or any lack of income. Let go of all that stuff right now. We're going to rip a new page. Today is a new day, and we're going to build you from scratch over the course of these 3 days. And when you're done, when we're done with this, you're going to be able to go out into the world totally self-reliant to be able to go achieve what you're meant to achieve. So I want to say this, and hear me when I say this. I'm proud of each and every one of you for making the decision to become an entrepreneur. I'm even more proud of you for making the decision to do so in network marketing. And I'm proud of you for investing in you by being here for these 3 days. Plug in. It's going to be epic. And what we have in store for you, we've never had an experience like these 3 days in our 12 years of doing this. So let me introduce one of our first keynotes. This young lady, I met her. She's from the same state from Minnesota. I met her, I don't know, 8 years ago probably. And I immediately knew that she had a quality of, she had a hunger and a desire and a quality for excellence that was special. And what she's going to teach you to do today is going to help you take your network marketing business to the next level. She's been in the $1 Million Hall of Fame for many years now, and she's going to bring the heat to GoPro 2021. Please give a big round of applause for Miss Emily Vavra.
Hello, GoPro! How many of you are feeling inspired right now? Sherry, are you feeling inspired? Darla, are you feeling inspired? That's beautiful. But I have to tell you that being inspired is far different from being transformed. And if you're up for being transformed, I want you to look at me right now, and I can see every single one of you. And I want you to raise your hand if you're up for being transformed. This talk today is all about the point of no return. You see, we've all had times in our life where it is the point of no return. And there's a split moment where you can make a decision that could change your whole life. And getting excited about network marketing is one thing. Signing up for your products and company is one thing. But going all in is a whole different thing. You see, I grew up functionally different than my siblings. Youngest of 3, we were raised by a single mom. For the longest time growing up, I felt like there's got to be something wrong with me. I'm not as smart as my sister. We're 13 months apart. And I remember it vividly when my mom said, "Hey, you're just too close in age. We want to keep you 2 school years apart." And the more I learned, I'm like, oh, it's because I'm not smart enough, right? We all have those deficiencies that we think about us, whether it's education, whether it's the way you look, the way you sound, your beliefs. But those are all just beliefs. At any given time in your life, you can decide to play full out. And that's what I had to do at a young age. I had to show up bigger than other people. I had to show up with more presence. I had to learn how to have more energy. Because otherwise I wasn't seen. Otherwise, I was falling behind in school. I could hardly keep up in math class. And what I realized through growing up is I learned a whole heck of a lot by not being the smartest girl in school, because I learned how to play full out. I learned how to get up at 5 a.m. when I wanted to be on the volleyball team and I wanted to play varsity. I had to work harder. You see, there was a point of no return that got instilled in me as a young girl. And I wonder this about you. I wonder this about you, Nicole. I wonder this about you, Shannon. How many times in your life have you been at that point of no return? But what happens is we retreat back. We constantly retreat back when the transformation is actually when we step through. You see, when I started in network marketing, I said yes. Of course I said yes. Who wouldn't say yes to this profession? But I didn't really decide to lead until my second year in. You see, I was trying as hard as I could at network marketing, I thought. I was doing everything. I was showing up to the calls, I was showing up to the events. But I relied so much on the mentors above me. You know, sometimes when you're surrounded by great people, you start to think you're great, right? Like some of you are surrounded by really great people. But once they leave, are you still great? Think about that. And something happened for me. You see, I was in a pivotal moment of, do I keep going forward with network marketing or do I stop? Because I could hardly pay my bills, and I moved into a studio apartment, and it was so gross. My clothes smelled like my food, okay? It was just like nasty. If anybody's ever lived in a studio apartment, you know what I mean. And I needed a new car. At the time, I lived in Minnesota, and it was just a struggle, man. I was struggling. I was struggling to get up. I was struggling to do my calls. I struggled so much, I got another job, and I wanted to give up. I wanted to give up, and I struggled so much with eating. I had food issues, and it was just this, the demons were coming in, man. And I remember vividly, it was snowing and it was freaking freezing in Minnesota. Thank God I don't live there anymore. But I had this moment of, what am I going to do with myself? Who am I going to become? Because I'm running. And some of you are running. You're running from who God created you to be. You're running from the person that you really love. You're running from your destiny. You're running. And I was running. I wanted to run away. But instead, I decided to move my feet and to take that step forward. And when I did that, it changed everything for me. I started to transform from the inside out. And that is what you're all called to do. You know, it's so funny. The other day I was on a call with a friend of mine in LA. And she said, I'm so motivated. I want to change my life. I'm like, that's great, honey. That's so great. What are your goals? She said, I want to do this charity, and I want to create this business, and all these goals. I'm like, that's amazing. You want to change the world. You and every single other beauty queen out there. That's awesome. How are you going to do that? I asked her, how are you going to do that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I kind of chuckled. And this is what I call hard love. And I said, I don't believe you're ever going to do anything, if I'm going to be honest. Because if you cannot change the square footage around your feet, you are certainly not going to change the world. If you cannot change one person's life, you are certainly not going to make a dent in the universe. You see, You change lives, and you change your life 1 square foot at a time, 1 step at a time. That is how you change the world. So many people want more. You're here today because you want more. I know that about you. You are already my people. However, you've got to look at your life right now and all the things you're focused on and all the areas of where your time is going to. And every single time my life gets crazy, and every single year I've grown, okay, I go back to what's called essentialism. You see, when I talk to people and when I'm out there in life, I find that so many people are doing 1,000 things, getting nowhere fast. Okay, they say yes to this commitment and yes to this commitment, and they're spinning. And you heard Eric talk about greatness and what it really takes. And there's this story out there saying you can do it all, you can have everything. And I think that's just complete BS. If you want to be great, you've got to choose. You've got to choose where you put your time. So I love this diagram you can see up on the slide, because the non-essentialist is yes, 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 yes. You know who you are, Veronica. Yes, 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 Fran. But the person who knows what is essential, who knows what they're focused on, they say yes to a few things that matter. Your family, what you're focused on, what's going to build your dreams. And when I knew, hey, I want to make $1 million a year, I was like, okay, a millionaire is worth $500 an hour. So is this activity equivalent to $500 an hour? Yes or yes. I changed the way I made decisions. And this is a few different ways that you can change ways you make decisions as well. Is you can say to yourself, is this supporting where I'm trying to go? Is this supporting my dreams? Does this make sense to where I'm trying to go? And that's how I decide what's a yes and what's a no. It's essential that you figure this out, because after these next 3 days, you are going to be alive, fully charged, ready to go. But then moments later, you could be stumbling on everybody else's agenda. And you say yes to all these things, and they're not going to help you fulfill your dreams. They just won't. So what do you need to leave behind? What do you need to leave behind today to let the old you die and the new you be born? You know, sometimes we just say, God, give me my dreams. Please. I mean, have you ever been praying at night like, can you just do something? Can you cut me some slack here? And you're just waiting. You're waiting. When it says in a really good book that you must move your feet. I will give you more when you move your feet. What are you waiting for? No one is coming to save you. And guess what? If all your dreams came true right now, in your current state of mind, your current body, you would F it up in 5 seconds. Because you have to change. God will only change you if you change you. And the way we change is through action, my friends. That is how we change. So what must you leave behind? Is it your upline? Do you rely way too much on your upline? Are you just like banking on them for every call? You're waiting for them to motivate you? Let me jump on the team call so they can motivate me. That ain't gonna last long, I tell you that. What must you leave behind? Is it a boyfriend? Do you have a loser boyfriend? And you really need a man friend who can then become a husband? Do you need to leave behind your friends, your drinking buddies? For real. Have you ever noticed when you stop drinking, they no longer call you? Have you ever noticed that? You see, because they're only comfortable with you when they're intoxicated and you can all be losers together. I know this is hard. I know it is. But what must you leave behind? Settling for a mediocre life that you complain about every single day so you can live a great life? Only you can answer that. So what must you leave behind, and then what must you do? That's my question for you. Some of you are willing to share what you must leave behind. I got to tell you, when you get the courage to leave stuff behind that no longer serves you, that doesn't really fulfill your soul, and you're using it to numb yourself out, that's when you move forward. And you start to realize, I was given all of these amazing gifts from my Creator. I feel so much better when I'm surrounded by people that are like-minded. I feel so much better when I really focus on what's essential to me. And I'm moving forward to the things that matter most to me and not far away. And when this happens, let me tell you, people will look at you and they will say, "Who is Brenda? Oh yeah, I once knew her. She's changed a lot. Who is Sandy? She's really changed." People look at me and they say, "Who is Emily? Who does she think she is?" And I say, "I know exactly who I am." And I like to joke that the black sheep of the family eventually becomes the goat. I like to joke about that. Because it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how smart you are. None of that matters. What matters is that you say yes and you cross the line. The point of no return. And if you trust me, if you are open, I want to walk you through something that changed my life. If you'll stand up right now. This is what I like to call a defining moment in my life and in your life. This is for you. This is not for me. I want you to close your eyes. And I'm taking you into a dark room. We are in a dark room, my friends. It is pitch black, and it is only you. Now I want you to look over your left shoulder. And a spotlight is shining down. And I want you to keep your eyes closed. And when you see that spotlight shine down, you see those that love you. You see your children. You see them look you in the eyes. They're looking up at you and they're saying, "Mommy, Daddy, go, do it." You see your loved ones, you see your family. And they say, "Why don't you move? Why don't you move forward? I believe in you." The spotlight turns off. You look to your right, and there's now a new spotlight. And it's shining down on your business partners. It's shining down on a man who's praying at his bedside for a solution. He's praying and he's saying, "Help me, help me. God, send me an angel, send me an angel." The spotlight goes away. You look behind you and you see everything you hate. You see your dead-end relationships. You see the living room you'd wanted to redo for 10 years. You see the getting up early. You see the job you can't stand. You see the limiting beliefs. You see the addiction that you're trying to beat. You see everything that you cannot stand, your old life. The spotlight goes away. Look forward. You see out in the distance, there's a light shining down. It's far away, but you can see it. Close your eyes, you can see it. What do you feel? You see it, and you see your dream life. You see money coming in. Money's not an issue. How do you feel? You see your kids so proud of you. They're so proud of you. They say, that's my dad. That's my mom. They help people. How does that make you feel? You see yourself living by design. You feel bold. You feel courageous. You feel confident. You don't limit yourself. There's no limits. How does that make you feel? But the light starts going away. It's going away. And you suddenly feel a rubber band around your waist. You feel a rubber band, and it's pulling you back. It's pulling you backwards. And you're like, no, what's going on? It's trying to pull you to your past. It's trying to pull you back to this old identity. And you feel it, and you don't want to go there. You don't want to stay where you are. You want to move forward. So what you must do is break the rubber band. You've got to break it, and this is a moment. This is your moment. You have to break the band. So feel the rubber band. You feel it. Feel it on your body. Feel it on your stomach. And on the count of 3, if you are bold, if you are ready, you got to rip that rubber band off. Do it with me. 1. It's going away. You are not retreating. 2. And when I say 3, you step forward. 3, step forward. Step forward. Rip it off. Rip it off. Pull it off. This is your new life. You are not going back. You are not going back. Welcome to your new life. This is your home. This is where you belong. Focus on this. Moving forward, moving your feet forward. This, my friends, is where you belong. People are waiting for you. You are designed for so much more than how you're living. You are called. And it is time for you to live your greatest life. Not my life, not Eric's life, not Marina's life, your life, however you want it. I want you to celebrate with me. I want you to celebrate and dance wherever you are. Grab your kids, grab your cat, grab your dog. This is one of my favorite songs. Because your life is the greatest show. Your life is the greatest show. Feel it, embrace it. Let's do this together. Right? You ready? Who's ready for the greatest show? Let's go. Let's do this together. Please play the song. It's one of my favorite songs. Let's break this. It's everything you've ever need. Okay? This is for you. Let's go. For you. What must you leave behind? Take this with you. Write it down. What is no longer moving in the future with you? This is your moment. You felt what it felt to live in your past, and now it's time for you to move forward. I love you so much. God bless you. Mwah. Thank you.
Emily Vavra, everybody. Well done, well done. All right. How was that? Pretty good, huh? Hey, listen, this is the biggest event in the world, and I want to ask all of you to do two things. One, if you know somebody that has a ticket, make sure that they're checked in and they're registered and they're here. We don't want you to miss anything. We've got some big stuff coming up. We've got Ed Milet coming up. We've got a whole branding section coming up in just a few minutes. But that's number one. Number two, if you know somebody or care about somebody that needs to be a part of this for the next 3 days, have them go to GoPro2021.com, get themselves a ticket. If you're watching online somewhere right now with free preview, GoPro2021.com to get yourself a ticket, okay? Don't miss the rest of this. It's going to be epic. Now, listen, I want all of you to kind of anchor the moment that we just went through with Emily, and I want you to answer this question to yourself. I want to give you 2 minutes to think about this question. What decisions do you need to make this weekend? What decisions do you need to make that will change your business and move your business forward? What decisions do you need to make? Let's take 2 minutes right now. I want you to spend the time and write it down. Write down what decisions you need to make. Go ahead and go. And if you'd like, put it into the chat after you write it down so we can see it. Might be multiple things. One decision might be to face your fears. Another decision might be to find a way out of that job that you don't love. Another decision might be to limit the negative friends in your life. A decision might be to stop playing small or to change some negative habit and replace it with a positive habit. Be more consistent. Could be a million things. Okay, you got it? All right, here's what we're going to do. If this is your first time in a GoPro event, let me see your hands if this is your first time in a GoPro event. Let me see. Shake your hands at me. Let me see. A lot of you. Wow, so cool. Welcome. You're going to love this. We have the technology to break you into little breakout rooms of 4 to 6 people. So we're going to do that right now in a moment. We're going to break you into rooms just randomly of 4 to 6 people. And what we want you to do is share what decisions you need to make this weekend. We want you to share that with the group. Because when you share, you make it real. When you share, it goes out of just possibility and into reality. You can speak it into existence. So we're going to put you in a group for 12 minutes. And here's the rules. You ready? The shortest hair in the group, the shortest hair is the timekeeper. And the longest hair in the group goes first. Okay? Shortest hair is the timekeeper. Longest hair goes first. Everyone gets 2 minutes. Equal share, equal voice. Be willing to be honest, transparent, and vulnerable, and hold the space for others to do the same, okay? You're going to see a 60-second timer warning, wrap up the conversations, and then when we come back, we're going to grab some quick kind of aha moments from a handful of you, okay? So 12 minutes, you don't need to do anything. We're going to send you into the breakouts, and when there's a done, we'll bring you right back into the studio here, okay? You ready? Play all out. Play all out. Share what decisions you're going to make this weekend with the group, okay? Go into the breakouts now.
It's getting closer to midnight. I try to get closer to you. Drinking courage from my red cup now. I will soon make a move. Ooh, I can taste it. The bittersweetness of taking a shot. A risk worth taking. If it's a shot at love, baby, I adore you. Maybe I adore you. Yeah, I'm feeling high, I'm up on cloud nine. Baby, I adore you. I try to focus on breathing. My heart is skipping a beat. Your lips against the red cup makes me lose my mind completely. Ooh, I can taste it. The bittersweetness of taking a shot. A risk worth taking if it's a shot at love. Baby, I adore you. Maybe I adore you. Yeah, I'm feeling high, I'm up on cloud nine. Baby, I adore you. Trying my best not to lose control. I want you, that's all I know. Trying my best not to lose control. 'Cause I adore you, adore you. Trying my best not to lose control. I want you, that's all I know. Trying my best not to lose control. 'Cause I adore you. Baby, I adore you.
Are we here? All right, cool. Say, hey, for those who are watching on Facebook, thank you for joining us for the first session. We hope you enjoyed the content. Preview of what's next, coming up soon, we've got a branding panel, a branding training, how to build your brand, a Rockstar brand and network marketing, some special guests, a panel of people who've branded themselves incredibly well inside of network marketing are going to be part of that. And we've got Ed Milet coming up. We've got Tony Robbins coming up. We've got, tomorrow we have Lisa Nichols. We've got Eric Thomas. We've got Grant Cardone. We've got Dean Graziosi. We've got the top people in network marketing. It's epic. It's literally amazing. But to be fair, the people who paid to be here for this 3-day event, this is the last session you're going to be able to join with us. Okay? So we're going to let you see this next little session up until the next little break. But if you'd like to get a ticket, invest in yourself. Decide that you want to, take this journey with us, and go to GoPro2021.com. You can get yourself a ticket and log right in. Be up on the wall, be part of the whole process, and join us in this great experience together. Like I said, approaching 70,000 people, part of this event from around the world. You need to be part of it. So if you're watching on social, you're watching for a reason. Get yourself a ticket and join us for the rest, okay? So we'll see you in just a few minutes when we come back from this break. All right, talk to you then. Bye-bye.
So small, watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Look at the beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Lay my troubles to rest. Blow the smoke through my cigarette. City lights looking fine, and I know this is my time now. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. drive a faster car. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Do you have a good group? Do you have a good share? Sometimes when we do this, especially early in events, sometimes people get into a breakout room and it's just them. Anybody have that happen to them? It was just them? Anybody have like two people or something? You know, as the event continues to move forward, you'll see it gets a little bit more full. But here's what I would like to ask you. Who's willing to share to the world what decisions you're prepared to make? Show me some hands if you're willing to share to the entire world decisions you're willing to make. All right, Z2, Leanne Schweitzer, we're going to go with her first, and then after that, who else? Who else? Let me see hands. Let me see hands. David Monteith, Z15. We're going to go with him second. Keep your hands up if you want to share. Let's go with Michelle Ferguson, Z15. And let's go with keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Charlene Francis, Z2. Okay, so whoever's first, throw them up on the screen. Let's have a conversation. This is with Leanne. Leanne, how you doing? Are you there? Are you there? Do we need to unmute Leanne? Or is she muting herself or unmuting herself? We'll get you. We'll get you. Hold on. We'll make it happen.
I'm here.
Hey, there she is. What's the name of the little one bouncing around behind you?
That's Lila Pearl Schweitzer.
Hi, Lila Pearl. Hi. How
You're
are
the big
you?
screen, boy.
So, Leanne, what's the big decision you're going to make this weekend?
The big decision that I'm making is rank advancing to the position where I'll get health insurance so that I can retire my husband home so that we can all stay at home together because, yeah, I just want to spend more time with him.
So, what needs to change
family.
in you for that to happen?
I need to take more action and I need to let go of perfection and allow myself to be more messy so that I can learn as
That's
I
a
go.
big thing. Letting go of perfection, being willing to do it messy. Some of you perfectionists out there, who's a perfectionist out there? Let me see. You gotta be willing to get a little bit messy, maybe even be a little bit embarrassed sometimes in order to be able to make this work. But Leanne, proud of you. I have no doubt that you're going to turn that goal, that decision into reality. Give Leanne a big round of applause, everybody. Let's bring up who's next. Hey, David.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Eric, how you doing?
Where are you connecting from?
I'm connecting from Anchorage, Alaska, and
Anchorage,
I have
Alaska.
something else in common with you. I'm also from Minnesota.
Hey, how about that?
So one of my big decisions.
Yeah, hey, can you tell? Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Can you tell who my favorite team is?
The same one as mine.
Come
Same one
on.
as mine.
Minnesota Vikings.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
And it ain't the Lakers. Come on. So what's the big decision that you're going to make?
Okay. Well, right now I'm doing it. I'm getting myself out there a little bit more. One of the things that I've done is shied away from being on screen. One of my mentors, you know him very well, Jared Krebs,
Sure.
tells me to get out and do these Facebook Lives. So that's one of my decisions, to get out and do Facebook Lives, put myself out there, realize I have much more to offer than sometimes I give myself credit for.
Yeah.
So that's my big decision.
Yeah, if you're like me at all, being a kind of introverted, conservative type, in your personal life, what you got to realize is hiding your power, hiding your value to the world doesn't serve the world, and it doesn't, it's a little bit selfish. We hold on to our fire and we don't share it with other people, and that might make us feel protected, but it doesn't necessarily bring value to the world. And one thing I will tell everybody, including you, David, is most of the top earners are introverted people. Most of the top $1 million earners are introverted people. So they just find a way to become situationally extroverted. They push themselves to get a little bit uncomfortable and go do those Facebook Lives, or go, we'll get you from Facebook Live to TikTok. I want to see David doing a TikTok dance, sometime.
Dancing on TikTok.
Yeah, we got to do something crazy. But anyway, David, I'm proud of you for being here up on the screen. I'm proud of you for raising your hand. I'm proud of you for doing what you're doing inside of this profession. You got big things in store for you. Everybody give David a big round of applause, everybody. Facing his fears and doing this. All right, who's next? Hey. How are you, Charlene?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Well, where are you connecting from?
I'm coming from Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. All right, so what's the big decision you're going to make?
I am going to let go of my limiting beliefs. I do really well. And then, like Emily said, I come to that point and then I step backwards. So now we are breaking through on our own, walking through to the next level.
I love that. And what I will tell you, I'm gonna teach you specifically on day 3 how to change this completely. What I used to do in my early years, Charlene, is without even realizing it, I would sabotage my own business. Without even realizing, my subconscious mind would sabotage my growth, my success. Every time I got something going, I'd figure out a way to screw it up. I'd figure out a way to mess up my team or be inconsistent or something. And I finally learned the secret of how to change that forever and to get my subconscious mind to work for me instead of against me. So I'll teach you that specifically, but your awareness of it and your decision to do something about it is why you're here. I'm proud of you. Everybody give Charlene a big round of applause. Well done, Charlene.
Thank you.
All right, I think we have one more. Hello, Michelle. How you
Hi
doing?
there, Eric.
Where
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you connecting from?
Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and a big shout out to my Hot Shots team.
Hot shots. All right, fantastic. So what's a big decision that you're going to make?
Well, it's sort of been creeping up on me, and I'm glad you asked that today. I need to be bolder. I've been in the industry for about 14 years, and I've gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of skills and a lot of mindset growth that I probably should be sharing more. And it's not just in business. I need to give value to whatever my audience is. And so I think being bolder, knowing who I am, knowing that I start from a place of love and a good intention, and just take the things that I have locked up in here and let them out.
I love that. And let me tell you something. The next session that we're going to have in just a few minutes, it's an entire session on branding. And this is going to be very, very important for you, Michelle, and for everybody else here. You are the business. You are the asset. You need to brand yourself, and part of branding is putting yourself out there. We're going to talk about the different elements of branding in this next session. So pay very, very close attention to it, Michelle, because these things, every one of you, whether you think so or not, how you show up, the brand, what people think about when they think about you, has a major impact on your recruiting ability, on your leadership ability, on your growth ability, on your contribution to the world. A major impact. Your brand needs to be thought about like Nike thinks about their brand. You know what I mean? You really need to think about that as a person, not just promoting the company brand, and that's all great, but you're as a person, as your team, it's very, very important, and we're going to train you on it in just a bit. But everybody give Michelle a big round of applause. Well done, well done. I think that's everybody. Here's what I'd like you all to do. Take the biggest decision that you're going to make over the course of this weekend, the biggest one, because you might have many, and put it into the comments. Take a moment and put it into the comments. Share it for everybody else. In typing it, you're going to feel something different. I want you to share it with everybody else, okay? Melinda's going to get organized. Raquel's going to go pro. Be more active. Step into my leadership. Take more action. Make more calls. Give more value. Be consistent. Take action. Wake up earlier. Make a commitment and see it out. Be bold. Leaving behind my limiting beliefs. Be a more brave recruiter. Stop playing small. Be more consistent. Be obsessed and all in. Follow through with decisions. Keep typing those in and take a look, because it'll give you some ideas on some decisions that you might need to make. Okay? All right, so that's our first session. I'm going to bring back Fabian. He's going to take you to the next level. All right? Give him a big round of applause.
Hello, hello, hello. So guys, always when you see me, one of two things are going to happen. Either you will get some housekeeping notes from me so that you know what's going on, or we're going to increase the energy altogether. This time, which one will it be? It is housekeeping. So we're leading into a 10-minute stretch break. So stretch break means as soon as I say go, not before, stay in your seat. As soon as I say go, just get up, stretch out a little bit, get something to drink, get some food, shake your body out, and you have to be back on time. You can use the restroom, of course. That's a good time to do that. Hydrate, make sure. But what the most important thing is that you will be back on time. We're starting the gifts session soon. The session I mentioned in the beginning, maybe we're going to start already after this stretch break, maybe we're going to start a little bit later, I don't know yet, but we will reward those people who are back on time, those people who are always giving 100%, who are playing all out. Okay guys, so everybody please be back at 11:02, okay? At 11:02, please write in the chat when you have to be back. What's the time? Write in the chat. What's the time? When do you have to be back? 11:02. Exactly. Thank you very much. Don't forget that. If you are a group of people and somebody is not back on time, draw them back in. All right, guys. See you back at 11:02. Have fun with the stretch break.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have a 10-minute break. 10 minutes because it takes a bit longer to go to the bathroom for some of us. We'll see you in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive, live. If you hadn't run away every time I asked you stay, you would sleep right next to me tonight. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. In the beginning I just didn't know that you're an enemy I held too close. Now I know, cause you did everything to prove me wrong. You were not the guy I thought. Now I'm beating you at your own. Yeah. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive, live. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, baby.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. I hope everybody had a nice stretch. You're full of energy again. But before we continue, it is time to raise the energy a little bit. And I need the help of all of you. And you remember this morning, we did a little agreement. We said we all are going to give 100%. Is that right? So please type in the chat. We agreed to how much percent? How much was it? 100, exactly. Exactly, 100%. So what we're going to do now is I want everybody to stand up. We're going to do it together. And just as a quick reminder, as we did this morning, I am going to say, please, everybody, stand up. Okay? We're going to do it together, so please sit down back again. On my count. Are you guys ready? So please, everybody, stand up. There we go. That's the energy. That's the energy, guys. I love it. Shervy, amazing. Over there, Silke, Deborah, awesome. Isabel. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Before we bring Eric out, we're gonna do something that I like to call party for no reason. I will do a countdown from 5 to 0. When we hit 0, I want you to freak out that your neighbors think something is wrong, okay, that the whole street thinks there's a party and they need to be part of it. Just freak completely out, be different, 100%. And then we're going to end all together at the same time with a dab. You know what a dab is? You might have seen that already, okay? And possibly we're going to do the largest dab ever on planet Earth, 60,000 plus people doing it at the same time. Are you ready for that? Then let's go. I'm going to count down from 5 to 0. We freak out when you hear me again. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do the dab, and we stay in that position for 2 seconds. Ready to go? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Party for no reason! Come on, Jacqueline. That's it. Valerie. Karen. Joff McCoy, Kedra. Can see you guys and girls. 4, 3, 2, 1, and dab. Awesome. You should see that picture. Thank you very much. That lifted the energy a little bit. Please stay standing and welcome back Mr. Network Marketing Pro, Mr. Eric Worre.
All right. Thanks, brother. That was fun watching y'all dab. Lindsay Williams, I didn't see the dab. Come on. All right, I love it. Okay. How many people have at least one page of notes so far? Anybody? All right, we're going to go into a very interesting and new session. We've never trained on this topic in GoPro in the last 12 years, but it's important to do so, so we're going to do it today. The topic of this presentation, the next 90 minutes, is how to build a Rockstar brand in network marketing, how to build your Rockstar brand. And some of you might not think of yourself as a rock star, but in the business world, you will be a rock star. You will be somebody to admire, somebody to emulate, somebody to follow, somebody to listen to, if you build this by intention. I've got to tell you, one of the biggest trends I'm seeing in the world today, from the biggest earners in network marketing, is they are consciously building their Rockstar brand. And in doing so, you're going to hear from some of them. We're going to have a panel of people talking about why they did it, what they did, and what it did for their business. But here's what's going to happen if you pay attention to this. You're going to recruit more people. You're going to recruit higher quality people. People will listen to you more within your team. More productivity, more rank advancement, more duplication will happen as a result of you paying attention to your brand. So what I'm going to give you is a framework of what I'm seeing when it comes to the brands around the world, and I'm going to give you four pillars to building your Rockstar brand. And just like there's lots of different types of rock stars in the world, there's the Susan Boyles in the UK type, and there's a Beyonce type. There's a Michael Bublé type, and there's a Rihanna type. See what I'm saying? All different types. And same thing's true in sport, same thing's true in Hollywood. You don't have to be gorgeous. You don't have to be a fitness model. You don't have to, you could just intentionally build a brand, okay? So David, you hear me? We're going to help you build a brand in Anchorage, Alaska. And all of you help you build a brand. So the first thing that I want to share with you in building a brand, the first pillar is your standards. Your standards. Write that down. My standards. And let me tell you what I mean when I say standards. Here's what I mean. What are you known for? When people think of you, what comes to mind? Like, I'll give you some examples. I'll give you one. When you think of me, what comes to mind? Put it into the chat. What comes to mind? When you think of me, you know, we've been on this journey together for many, many years. Professional, network marketing, success, GoPro. What else do you think of? Teacher, bougie pants. These are on purpose. These yellow pants are on purpose. Mentor, integrity, huge heart, yellow personality. So think about when you think of Michael Jordan, what comes to mind? When you think of Michael Jordan, put that into the chat. Fit, sports, icon, dedicated, never quit, determined, professional, champion, confident. So what you're known for is actually a key element of your brand. It's a part of your standards. So, and another way to ask this is, what do you stand for? Now, there's going to be two answers to these questions for you. One is, what are you known for now? And then there's going to be, what do you want to be known for? What you're known for now might not be the best possible expression of what you want to be known for. So we'll work on, how do you transition from what you're known now for to what we'd like to be known for. So, what are you known for, number one? What do you stand for, number two? What do you stand against, number three? What you are opposed to is part of your brand, isn't it? What you don't accept is part of your brand, isn't it? Point number four under standards, what are consequences for people who violate your standards? That's how you know you have standards. Is there are consequences when people violate them? I promise you, Nike as a company has standards. And if people working inside of Nike violate those standards, those people find themselves outside of the company. If you are involved in a particular church, if you violate the standards of that church, you'll find yourself not welcome there. If you violate the standards of the military branch that you are serving under, you'll find yourself in difficult situations. Same thing's true in every organization in the world. They have consequences for when people violate their standards, and there are rewards for people who support their standards. What are the rewards for people that support your standards? I'll give you an example of consequences. One of my favorite ones. Maya Angelou, great poet, amazing human being. She told a story once, and I listened to her tell this story. She was throwing a party at her house, and everybody was enjoying it, having fun. And a friend of hers, a person she knew, told an off-color joke, a joke that was at the expense of a group of people in the world. And she stopped the party. And she said, "Excuse me, you need to leave." And they're like, "Oh, I was just a joke. I was just kidding. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it that way. I'm so sorry that I offended you." She said, "That's fine. We'll talk about it later, but you need to leave. I don't allow that in my house." That's an example of a standard, even if it's uncomfortable. How do you defend your team? How do you defend the actions? How do you defend the profession? What do you stand for? What are consequences for those who go off of your standards? And what are the rewards for people who go and are part of your standards? You need to think about these things in terms of building a brand. Okay, so I'm going to ask you I have two exercises for you to do. We're not going to give you time to do them now, but I want to give you two exercises. Exercise number one, what do you think your standards are now? What do you think you're known for right now? When people think about you, what comes to mind? And you can actually go on social media and you could post a selfie and say, "Would you do me a favor? When you think about me, what do you think of? What comes to mind when you think about me? If I was a brand, how would you define me?" Ask them how you're viewed right now. And then I want you to create another list. What standards do I want to have? What do I want to be known for? A year from today, when people think about me, what do I want them to say? 5 years from today, when people think about me, what do I want them to say? So it's where you are now. Take inventory. Where you want to be. Plant a flag in the future so you know where you're headed. And we're going to give you lots of ideas on how to build the standards of your brand, okay? Lots of ideas. That's the first pillar. You got it? You understand? First pillar is your standards. What are you known for? What do you stand for? What do you stand against? What are the consequences for people who violate that? What are the rewards for people that support it? The second pillar is your energy. Your energy. Is energy part of your brand? Of course. It's a huge part of your brand. Some of you, your energy is so closed up that it doesn't serve you in building a business. Your energy is so kind of selfish, and I say that with all the compassion in the world. Introverts are kind of selfish because it costs them something to bring their energy to the world. They lose power by doing so. It costs them. It tires them out. Introverts kind of lose energy in a crowd or when they put themselves out there energetically, and extroverts gain energy. I lose energy. At the end of these 3 days, guess what? I am out. I will need to stare at the wall for a while and not talk for a while. That's how I'm built. It's true. If you can relate to that, raise your hands. Let me see if you can relate to that. You're going to need to recharge. Yeah, I get it. But even though I'm planning on being low energy to recharge my batteries later, would you describe me as low energy right now? Now, I'm not hyper. I'm not jumping up and down, but I have my energy is part of my brand. My passion is part of my brand. Okay, I have standards for sure. I'm known for things for sure. But my energy is part of it. My empathy, my compassion, my encouragement, it's all part. You get it from the words, yes. But if I gave it to you very sour or very low energy, you wouldn't get as much of a benefit as if I give it to you with the real energy and the passion that I have inside. So your energy expresses itself in different ways. One is what you exude, you know? Do you brighten the room or do you dim the room? When you walk in, do you brighten the room or do you dim the room? And I had a mentor who, I'm introverted, one. I'm kind of cerebral, and what I mean by cerebral is not necessarily overly intelligent. What I believe about myself is I can get in my head and live in my head and forget the people around me really easily. And when I do, sometimes I get kind of, I get kind of focused and energetically bound up. And I had this mentor, and we go into meetings, and he'd afterwards say, "Eric, what are you doing? You're killing the meeting." I said, "What do you mean?" I was just thinking. I was thinking about strategy. I was thinking about this. Yes, but you need to brighten up, son. If you don't brighten up, I can't have you at these meetings. I'm like, what? He said, "Eric, when you walk into the meeting, it's like the lights went down in the room. You need to walk into the meeting like the lights just went up because you came into the room." I'm like, "Well, would you remind me when I'm doing it? Can we come up with a signal?" And you know what his signal was? He would kick me. You know, we'd go to breakfast or go to a lunch meeting and say, "Kick me under the table," bam. And I'd be like all like focused. And I wasn't negative, but I looked negative. My energy was darker than my intention. So I'd be like, I'd be having my breakfast tonight. I'd be having the lunch. I'd be thinking about stuff. I'd be writing things down. And he'd kick me, bam. And I would show up. Hello. I would come right back into the meeting. "Hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Sorry, I was checked out there for a second." And I would put a smile on my face, and I'd put some energy into the conversation, and I'd focus on the people. And I would change. Now, it was only a physical change, but the impact on the other person was dramatic. The lesson that I learned was huge. I was living small, and I was playing small, and I was acting small, and what I was exuding was small, and I needed to show up energetically. And some of you, even on these screens that I'm looking at right now, you're not brightening the room, folks. Some of you. There's some of you just woke up. Hello, nice to meet you. How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Rachel. Thanks for joining the conversation. I see your smile now. And sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's about how you move. So what you exude is one part of it. Your vibration is another part of it. Do you have in velocity a little bit quicker movements versus super slow? If that's your brand, if that's the brand that you want, here's what I want your energy to do. I want it to line up with your standards. I want it to line up with what you're known for. I want it to line up with your vision for your brand. I want it to be congruent. Okay? So what you exude, your vibration, what's next? What you say. Does what you say express the energy that's inside of you? Yes or no? Nod your head or shake your head. What you say, how you say it, the words that are coming out of your mouth. Part of my brand, you know what part of my brand is? Empathy, because I care about you so much, and I try to express that verbally as well as showing up in your life from time to time and helping you. I try to express how proud I am of you. I think of myself as a professional encourager. That's part of my brand. What you say matters hugely. What you do matters. What you do, is that part of your brand? Is that part of the energy? What you do impacts how people see you. It impacts the energy in which they see you. Number 5 is the speed in which you do things. If you're going to go get something done, man, get it done. We're going to hear from Grant Cardone, I think, tomorrow. But one of the things that I think when I think about him, big thinking, 10x, all of that. But one of the things that you might not know about him, but I know about him as a friend, and is he gets shit done. If he's got an idea, he turns the idea into reality fast. That's part of his brand, and it's part of his energy. He doesn't have 100 to-dos that are important. If he has a to-do, he turns it into a to-done. That's part of the energy of people around him. The passion in which you do things. You give a presentation with passion, it's part of your brand. Low passion, medium passion, high passion. We'll hear from Tony Robbins later. What is Tony? He's way up there. Motion creates emotion. You're going to be jumping up and down. I'm not a jump up and down brand. You know, I can get excited. You can tell I'm excited. You can tell I'm focused. You can tell I'm whatever, passionate about this. I hope my energy is expressing itself to you. How much I care about you, how much I want you to win. I hope it's congruent with the brand that I hope to be. So speed, passion, what you exude, your vibration, what you say, what you do, all of that stuff matters. So here's some hard questions. Here's some hard questions. What type of energy defines you right now? Right now. If we took a poll of the 100 people that knew you the best, one at a time, let's not give them all of them, positive or negative, what would they say? If they only had a choice, They could pick positive or negative. What would they say? Happy or sad? What would they say? Thoughtful or scatterbrained? What would they say? Be honest. Energetic or slow? Be honest. Energetic or slow? Spiritual or agnostic? Spirituality could be part of your brand. Encouraging or discouraging? If we asked 100 people now, and some of you, look, some of you saying, well, at least 51% would say I was encouraging. We need to get it to 100, don't we? For it to solidly be part of our brand. Hyper or calm? Passionate or apathetic? These are all decisions. Every one of these is decisions. And some of them might tire you out, my introverted friends. But if you want your brand to align with your purpose, you want your contribution to be bigger than it is today, you want the purpose for you being here to really matter, you have to get past your fear of putting yourself out there. I promise you, I am not energetically, I am not the person I was. I changed. Ask any of my friends. They're like, we don't believe it. That knew me back in school or whatever, they're like, who is this kid? We don't even know. So here's some other questions for you. And put your answers into the chat. What type of energy is gossip? Might be really interesting gossip. Might be gossip around some movie star. It could be gossip around COVID. It could be gossip around politics. Or any of those topics out in the general public. What type of energy are any of those topics? What type of energy is complaining? Even if it's justified, you know? You had a bad day and you need to vent. Or something bad happened to you and you need a little sympathy. Even if you need to vent, and even if you need a little sympathy, even if you need a little validation, what type of energy is that? Is complaining. The next one is one I was an absolute superstar pro, and I was known for it. I was a professional at blaming other people or other things for my lack of success. I was so good at it, it's not my fault. It's my upline's fault. It's my stupid downline. The company won't do this. I live in Minnesota. It's freaking freezing, and nobody wants to work. I'm too young. I don't have a college degree. I don't know anybody. You know, people in my country don't like network marketing as much as they like it in other countries. I would complain about everything. I'd even complain and blame other negative people for being negative. I would blame other negative people for my lack of success. What type of energy is blaming? Big question. Do you brighten the room or do you dim the room? It's really as simple as that. And guess where that starts? Guess where that starts? With what you're sitting right now, me looking at your face. I'm not going to call you out and say, hey, you brighten the room, you dim the room. But some of you are not bringing your energy into this event. You're sitting back like a tourist. You're not showing up, even in the Zoom in your living room, like you're going to be on this stage. And that's what you should be doing, because that should be part of your brand. You showing up, shining up, dressing up, looking great, big smile on your face, makeup on, ready for your close-up. So I'll give it to you for this session, but here's what I'd like to see. I want to see the brand, your brand, show up over the course of these 3 days. By that last session, I want to see your best self. Energetically, physically. I want to see your standards pop off the screen. So bold and so bright and so amazing that everybody that comes up here has to call on you because you look so great. You got such a big smile on your face. And even if it is 6:37 in Australia, a.m., and we started at 4 a.m., I get it. But if you're going to be on this stage and your body clock was at 4 a.m., I promise you, you'd look different. Promise. So, standards number 1. Got it? What are you known for? What do you want to be known for? Energy number 2. What is your energy level now? What do you want it to be as you move forward? What do you want to be known for energetically? Third, your appearance. Your appearance. How you show up. How do you show up to the world? Everything you do needs to be on purpose. On purpose, not an accident. Everything you do needs to be on purpose. What I'm wearing today is on purpose. The yellow pants are on purpose. The purple shoes are on purpose. What I'm going to wear this afternoon is on purpose. How I show up is a decision, and it's not about ego. It is about professionalism. It is about paying attention. And I will tell you, if you show up, if your appearance is at the next level, you'll recruit better people. You'll recruit more people. You'll get more rank advancement, more growth, more everything if you show up. And how your appearance shows up aligns with your standards, what you're known for. Do everything on purpose when it comes to your brand. What's next? Clothing. So think about, I know some people, some teams, that they wear a lot of black with pink. I know one team in particular, her team is known when they show up at an event, they've got a pink scarf, they've got a pink ribbon, they got pink something. It could be around colors, it could be around, your brand could be shorts and flip-flops and Hawaiian shirts, if you want it to be. It could be suits. It could be casual Fridays. It could be sloppy. Or it could be tight. Think about any quote-unquote celebrity. When they go out in public, do they go out, as a general rule, do they go out of their house sloppy or tight? Which one? Tight. Tight. They never know. There's that paparazzi's going to be taking a picture. They never know. So they show up on point. You ever see them at the airport? You ever see them somewhere? They're looking tight. They're on purpose. You need to be tight also. How you show up on your Zooms matters. Your hair, your makeup, your grooming, your clothing. I don't care what it is. Your brand is your brand. I just want it to be intentional. Your clothing, your accessories, all of that stuff. Make it intentional. Decide what you want to, how you want to show up. And there's two sides to appearance. How you want to show up as a leader and how you want your team and your system to show up for your people. When they look at your team, does it inspire confidence? When they look at your system, when your page and your everything else, does it keep them inspired to do more? Or is it sloppy, last minute, not really thought about? Think about this. This is a big, big deal. How you show up. Do you have a logo for your team? Do you have a name? Do you have any slogans? Fourth pillar is your media. How does the brand that you have in your standards, what you're known for, right? Your energy and your appearance, does your media reflect your brand? What do I mean? The pink ladies are here. Yeah. What do I mean by does your media reflect your brand? Is it reflected on all platforms? Does your Facebook page reflect your brand? Do you have a logo for your name? Do you have a color scheme that you're going to build your team and your brand around? These are all thoughts that are important. And the biggest brands, think about fonts and color scheme and photos and photography, videography. They think about lighting. They think about accurate descriptions. Some of you need, and you'll see, we're going to have a panel. We're going to have a panel that they're going to describe how they consciously put this stuff together for themselves and for their team and what it did for them. So some of you are like, what are you talking about? What does this have to do with me building a business? A lot more than it ever has. And your brand, here's the great thing about your brand. It can be anything you want it to be. Anything you want. I'm looking at Anthony Riccio. He's got long hair, and that's part of his brand. He's got a beard and long hair and cool glasses, big smile on his face, right? I'm sure that's consciously part of his brand. We've got Vincent Balaga, who's got a shaved head like me, right? It doesn't have to, we don't have to all look the same, but we all have to decide how we're going to show up. And what does this stand for? What does it all mean? Okay? So your names, personal and team. Next. Your logos, personal and team. You're going to hear from a bunch of leaders here that are going to talk to you about creating names and logos for their teams. The language that you use in your media needs to reflect the brand that you're trying to build. Okay? Do we have anything else with this? Or is that it? Is that it? All right, cool. So let me tell you what I've got a little surprise for you. When you think about corporate brands, some of the biggest brands in the world, put into the chat the biggest brand you can think of in sports apparel. What's the biggest ones you can think of? A lot of Nike, right? So I have a friend here who we've gotten to know each other recently. He was largely responsible for managing the Jordan brand for the last 32 years inside of the Nike organization. He knows a tremendous amount about branding, not only branding for Nike, but how that can impact and how you can make decisions on branding yourself. So he's going to come out here. We're going to have a conversation. Please welcome to the stage Gentry Humphrey. Come on out, Gentry. Hey, man.
Yes. How are you? Man, great to see you. Great to see you. You good?
So, are we going to have chairs?
What's up, everybody?
Do we have chairs or no? Bring out a couple chairs for us. So, Gentry Humphrey while they're doing that, come on over here.
All righty.
So look at those shoes. He's got fancy shoes. Gentry's responsible for, has to be, billions of dollars in sales.
Yeah,
Is that accurate? Have a seat.
That's quite accurate, especially over a 32-year career.
Can we bring his mic up a bit?
Yes.
Over a 32-year career?
Yeah, that usually comes with the territory. A lot of revenue that's attached to it.
So, look, these guys are all entrepreneurs. They're all home-based business, solopreneurs. And I'm of the belief that building a brand as a person, which you've done as well.
Yep.
And you've helped Michael Jordan do,
Yep.
is a big deal in terms of marketability out in the market. You'll attract more people, more opportunities will show up, more people will respond to you and help you grow as an entrepreneur. So when you think about brand, what comes to mind?
I think the first thing that comes into mind for me is you will not be successful in creating your brand if you truly don't understand the essence and you can't define what your brand is. So for instance, the easy thing for people to do is talk about their brand and everything.
So I said standards, you're saying your essence.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's what you're known for, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. The easy thing for people to do is talk about all of the great things that they do. But really, where the magic comes from is when you understand the opportunities that you have. You have to be able to define what it is that you're not doing to help you get to another place. Michael Jordan is a great example of that. One of the greatest athletes to play the game of basketball. In order to sustain that greatness, the first thing he'll tell you is I had to identify the weaknesses of my game and turn them into strengths. Once I'm able to turn those weaknesses into strengths, now my game is complete and I can sustain that excellence. The thing that you're doing here is phenomenal. You're giving folks an opportunity to understand what it's going to take for them to build their own brands. And that knowledge, you've got to absorb that knowledge. The collective genius that they get from multiple people to help create that greatness is truly important. So
let me think about it this way. How many meetings you had to be sitting in, thinking about little things, like the color.
Details.
Detail. How detailed did you need to be in order to be able to kind of build a sustained brand over time?
Oh, it's everything.
And how closely did you guard against people trying to change that?
All the time. All the time. If you understand what your brand ethos is, and you live and die by what your brand ethos is, and you're able to connect with consumers who start to appreciate and respect your brand ethos, you have to be able to get into the details. And that's every little thing that you do. I heard you talk about how you dress, how you perform, how you look. All that is a part of your brand ethos. And if in this world today, especially the digital world that we live in, consumers have opportunities to connect with anybody. You can't fool them. They're discerning. They can identify real versus fake right away. And so the devil is in the details. When you have those details and you address those details, that's how you gain credibility and respect amongst that audience that you're targeting.
When you think about like logos, colors, and those types of things, how much time did you spend on that, and how much time would you recommend these people spend on figuring out what are the things that are going to represent them, like the flying Michael
logo.
Jordan
Yeah.
as a logo was important.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
the
yes.
colors
Yes.
are important.
Yes.
Like you've got the hat with the flying thing.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Or the Nike swoosh, the famous swoosh. Is important. How did what were the conversations like in creating the brand from the first place? When you started doing this 32 years ago?
Yeah.
What was the thought process, and what was the evolution of the brand over time?
Yeah. Well, first off, you have a man that now had a logo, and how he carried himself on the court as well as off the court allowed you to embrace the essence of that man and the excellence that he brought. So that logo became a symbol of excellence. And we believed that at the time, we could share that with the rest of the world. You know, we can share what his brand is all about, and it could complement the things that were happening on the Nike side. And so when you're able to kind of have an audience that connects in a different way with another portion of your brand, you're able to grow your personal brand. And so everything that we did with Michael from day one started off in his likeness, and we sent that through every single filter, how we chose to advertise, how we chose to design product. And I heard someone talking about earlier about being bold. Michael Jordan was the essence of being bold. And for us, it was important to live through that, because if we're doing the same things today that we did 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you're probably getting passed up. So being comfortable with being uncomfortable became extremely important for us. And we lived through that, and everything we do, we try to send it through that filter.
Where some things had to be sacred, I'm guessing.
Yes, yeah, some things
It's like,
definitely.
you know, like I remember I knew a guy who was part of the first executive team of Colonel Sanders, and he's and Colonel Sanders. I'll say it less colorfully than the Colonel would do, because some people were trying to change the gravy.
Right.
And the Colonel was saying, you do not mess with
The gravy. Yeah, that's right.
That is like a non-negotiable. And some things are, I'm assuming, non-negotiable. Yes.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
How aggressively would you protect the brand that you built?
Almost to a fault at times. You know, I've had to sit down with folks that weren't as close to the brand as I was, and folks that are in a high position, and had to learn the power of influence to make sure that they understood why I was protecting it the way I was protecting it. And 9 times out of 10, again, if you come from an authentic position, people can't help but respect your point of view. And it's easier to influence them and to move them in the direction that you need them to go if, you know, you come from a position of authenticity.
Right. So, I mean, with all of this, what I find fascinating, Nike's, you know, an amazing, admired brand, and Jordan brands are incredible as well, is what are the lessons that we could learn from that? What are the lessons we could learn from a Richard Branson? What are the lessons we could learn from an Elon Musk and how he's branding himself? He's branding himself completely different than a Tim Cook from Apple.
Yeah.
Like, wildly different brands, but they're doing it on purpose.
Yes.
I believe Musk is doing what he's doing because it's a cheap way to get lots of advertising. Doesn't have to spend much money, and it's driving his stock up to be the richest man in the world.
Right.
Okay, it was working for him to be this rebel renegade.
Right.
Tim Cook is more like by the book,
Yeah.
you know, straight up, but that's a choice also, and the organizations reflect that.
Yep.
Okay, so I just want everybody to be thinking, and we're going to bring up a panel in a few minutes. I want everybody to be thinking about how you can utilize these types of thought in order to be able to create a brand that's going to serve you long term, okay, and how you protect that. In the Jordan brand, the things that I've noticed is part of the brand is he's not as accessible as other people.
Right.
He's not going to be on every talk show, and he's not going to be on every radio. He's going to be a little bit back. He's going to let the brand do the speaking, whatever. He's going to pull himself a little bit back, and that's part of his brand, and it's on purpose. Is that accurate?
Yes, very intentional.
Yeah. And if there's somebody in his team or whatever that is disrespectful, right? What's going to happen to that person?
Oh, they're going to hear about it.
They're going to hear about it, or they're going to find their way out of the organization.
That's right.
Right. If somebody is racist,
Yep.
in the group, that's not going to be tolerated.
Yep.
If somebody's sexist or anything else,
That's right.
it's not going to be tolerated. So there's standards, right?
100%.
Around excellence, around the look. I'm sure he's paying attention to quality
100%.
as being something that's
Because that
important
represents him.
Yeah, represents him. So look at the difference between the brand that I'm dressed up as and the brand that Gentry's dressed up as. Neither one is good or better or worse. His is intentional. Every time I've seen Gentry, he's looked a version like this.
Yeah.
Great shoes, great hat, some kind of cool, funky jacket, right? But that's his look. And it probably wasn't always your look, was it?
No, but I did realize that at some point,
You were part of the brand.
yes. And if I wanted people to truly understand me, and when they saw me on a consistent basis, they knew what my look was going to be.
Right. And did that look inspire confidence in the team? When did you make the decision?
To lead?
To do the brand thing
You know, it's funny.
on yourself.
Yeah, it was funny. Early on, like I have some crazy stories. You know, people used to ask me, you know, how did you get to the job? And you know, I used to say it's being at the right place at the right time. But honestly, when I look back at it, I actually started as a really young kid doing it. I mean, my mom told me at 5 years old, before I went to elementary school, each night I'd lay out 3 different outfits. I had a GQ outfit that I wanted to be the sharpest kid in class. I had a sport outfit because I love sport. And for whatever reason, I love cowboys, and I had a cowboy outfit. So, but it started off early, you know, and I knew that I had to brand myself then.
Yeah. So
Not subconsciously, that
well,
was.
in your business, you're working with the Jordan
Yep.
organization.
Yep.
Did you make a conscious shift
Oh,
in
yeah,
your
for
clothing
sure.
stuff? How long into the journey did you
Oh, it
do
was
that?
right away because you want people to.
Because you were representing.
That's right. Like
So has it always kind of been this?
No, it evolved a little bit.
Tell me where it started, where it came.
It started off way more hip hop-ish.
Yeah.
But as I started to mature, I had to kind of create my own style, like incorporate a little bit of hip hop flavor, but yet become a little bit more sophisticated. So, but
All right.
early on, if you want people to respect what you do and appreciate the things that you do, you have to, and especially with what we do, there's a look that has to go. Like not everybody can pull off some of the things that we do.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people need the visual cues of that. So myself and the team had to kind of help portray that for folks.
Well, I know you had Nike and Jordan team came through the studio
Yep.
a month or 2 ago, and the group, as a group, just looked intentional,
Yeah.
on purpose,
Yeah.
phenomenal, professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So make sure that whatever it is, and energetically, same thing. Professional, on point, wanting to make sure that the job got done right.
Yep.
Wanting to make sure that the brand is protected, all that stuff. It was in the language, it was in the energy, it was in the questions, it was in the appearance, it was in all of that
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
So look, I appreciate you. I know this is the last second thing.
Oh, no worries.
Coming in and offering some tips as far as what you can do. Ladies and gentlemen, would you show some hands and give some love to Gentry Humphrey? Would you do it? Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Good to see you. I appreciate you. Keep it up.
Thanks, man. All right. So we're going to bring out a brand panel now, and we're going to have some top leaders talk about how they built their brand. How many people have some good ideas already about what changes you're going to make to your brand? Let me see some hands if you got some changes. Anything? Nothing? Nicholas, you got nothing? No changes? All right. Your brand's tight. It's good. Everything's good? All right. Cool. All right. So great. We've got some top leaders who we're going to have come out here, and we're going to have a discussion together. So somebody throw up the list so I can remember who's coming out. Somewhere. Somebody have that for me? All right. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Ashton Hendry, Amber Smart, Alex Morton, Natalie Nicole Smith, it's virtual, Emily Vavra, and Stormy Wellington. She's also virtual. Come on out, everybody. Hello. What's up? I didn't know you were going to be here. Hey, how are you? Hey, Stormy. How you doing? All right, so we got our little round table here, our branding round table, and look at these fancy people. Looking great, looking sharp. I'm going to start with Emily. Emily, your brand has changed a lot. Since when did we get to know each other?
8 years ago.
8 years ago. We need the mics on in here so they can hear the mics on in here. Can you say it again?
8 years ago.
Keep talking.
I think I was like
Go through
20.
the alphabet.
I was
A, B, C, D,
24,
E, F, G.
25.
There we go. There I can hear
Yeah.
you. All right, 24, 25. So 8 years ago, right? And what do you think? What would you say your brand was then?
Excited.
Just excited.
I mean, I just was like excited about the opportunity. I didn't really have a marketing background, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I just was posting products,
Yeah.
posting the opportunity. I was just on fire.
Just excited.
Just excited,
And look,
yeah.
be willing to be messy.
Yeah.
Be willing to get out there.
I just did it.
Figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
But in the last couple years, I've noticed an intentional shift. And that intentional shift in you was to take your brand a little bit more seriously. What are some of the things that you did branding-wise that made the biggest difference?
Yeah, it's just the mindset shift with it. I mean, I really, really believe that marketing yourself is a part of your business, and so I treat social media like a job. It's a branch of my current network marketing business. And so what I did is just really think about what's the value that I'm going to add. So everything I do is with intention now. Right? Like I may sprinkle in some random stuff throughout the day, but I know, okay, I'm going to add value to my audience. Who is my audience? Who's the girl that I'm talking to?
But there's a look, right?
There's a look.
There's a look, there's an intention, there's language that's kind of consistent. You're kind of becoming known.
Yeah.
You came up with a "It's Emily" thing.
Yeah, because I get on Facebook Live all the time. I'm like, it's Emily.
Yeah, it's Emily. All right, then off you would go.
So I just really looked at it and I took a piece of paper and I'm like, what am I passionate about?
Right.
You know, what message do I want to bring to the world? What am I about?
Yep.
And I brain dumped all of it down a line and I'm like, okay, this is my message. That I need to craft videos around this, imagery around this. And, you know, I'm really in love with it. And that's one of the key things. I think a lot of people get involved and they try to be Alex Morton. They try to be Amber, right? They try to be everybody else and then it doesn't feel right. So for a while when I was trying to, you know, I was growing up into a woman in this profession, I was trying to do all these other things. I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
Right.
So once I did the actual brain dump, it felt right.
So your standards got solid.
Yes.
Your energy got aligned.
It's fun.
The appearance became part of that whole thing, and it expressed itself in all the brands.
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference when it came to recruiting and growth in your business when you were intentional about your brand?
I started to attract a way higher caliber person.
Yeah.
Because I was showing up differently.
Right.
Right? And so people that came into my business, into my life were just next level. Because I was showing up next level.
And did your team respond at a higher level?
Yes.
When you did?
Yeah. Now they're all showing up. Some of them are better at social media than me, which is exactly what I want.
Right. All right. Let me go to Stormy because Stormy Wellington was going to be here, but she's literally in the middle of filming it's Lifetime, yeah? Is that right? A Lifetime. Oh, sorry. I'm not supposed to say?
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forget you just heard that, but she's filming a television show that's going to be coming out this next year, and they're in the middle of it, so she wasn't able to be here at last minute, but she's connected. Stormy, how you doing?
You know what? I am doing really amazing. I'm sorry that I can't be there, but everything that's happening right now that's obstructing me from being there is going to change the world in the future. So I'm really excited about it. So
talk to us about how important is brand? How important is that as you're growing your business?
Can I tell you, your brand is everything. People buy you before they buy the business. And that's why I tell people, my whole philosophy is to build the people will build the business. And what I find with a lot of people is that they try to emulate somebody else's brand when people love authenticity. And so I believe that not only should you build a brand, but you should build an authentic brand that's who you really are authentically.
Yeah, so what I've noticed with you, and it's been really interesting, I've noticed it with all of you, on different levels, different styles. Ashton's style's very quiet. I would say person to person. He's kind of how would I describe it? My brain's leaving my body. But cerebral, intelligent, strategic, big heart. That's what I think about when I think about Ashton. Stormy's bigger than life, bold, no excuses, no apologies. Big vision. but it's not only in how she's showing up. Her standards are clear in what she does on a daily basis with people around the world and her team. Her energy is very obvious and positive. Her look is intentional, and then even how it's exhibited. I saw some things that I found really interesting, like she's got different slogans inside of her team. She's got some stuff for the guys. She's got some stuff for the girls that empower them, that fill them up. She's got logos for everything. She's got people following, around with videos and photographers and all that stuff. When did you decide that you were going to step it up, Stormy?
To be honest with you, I made that decision about 4 years ago. I found myself really not happy with the illusion of a character that I was showing up as, because I wanted to fit inside of the mold of what network marketers look like. And I realized that I started to attract a lot of those people. And about 5 years ago, I said, what about the people that look like Stormy? What about the people that don't have a high school education or dropped out of school? What about the teenage moms? What about the ex-strippers and the scammers? And what about that little black girl or that little Latina that thinks that they can't be anything because they were told that they couldn't amount to anything? And so I decided that stop trying to dress like them. Stop trying to be the avatar of an ideal network marketer and be you, flawed. I don't try to be perfect. I love to share the world of my testimony of the things I've overcome. And I find that the truth is, it's like to thy own self be true. I realized that the more I was true to me, the more I started to attract authentic energy. For me, everything is energy. I made a decision that I would not compromise my peace, my happiness for network marketing or for commission. And so when I decided to step into my authenticity, I started to me, develop a whole new world of network marketers. I have a lot of people in my organization that are uncommon millionaires. You would never expect some of the people like a Natalie Nicole sitting there to have made, $6 million in 2 years. But if I didn't show up as Stormy, the girl who used to be in bottle service would not see that if Stormy can do it, I can do it. So I like to show people my flaws. I like to tell people where I come from, because I get to inspire those that feel as if we're the least, the last, and the lost. Now you say, if Stormy Wellington can do it, I can do it too. And that is my mold. That's how I want to show up. I tell myself that, Stormy, never lose your authentic self. Don't forget the humble beginnings of where you came from, because there's somebody else out there in the world that needs hope, and you're the one that's giving hope to a very lost generation, for real. That's how I feel.
So I would tell you, that's great. Combination of things that I see with you, Stormy, that's very interesting. One is the authentic, raw journey. The other is very aspirational. I remember you telling me something when you were at my house with your team. You said, and I'll quote you if that's okay. You said, my people need to see it. They don't just want to hear about success. They need to see people actually doing it, living the big life, doing the stuff, breaking through. So on one side, you're kind of, hey, look at what I came from the bottom and now I'm here. And the other side is you're pushing people hard. That's part of your brand too, pushing people hard. Come on, bigger, faster, bolder, let's go. Balance those two things for me.
So here's my new revelation. I have decided that I have inner balance out of boundaries. Inner balance out of boundaries. And what does that mean? That means that I embrace every personality. I embrace the girl who was just trying to make an extra $1,000 a month. And when I show up as her sometimes. I embrace the girl who have made it past $1,000 a week or a month and they want to make 5,000. And I also embrace the girl who's making 20, 50,000. And I need her to see that the more you show up, the more other people show up and rise to the occasion. Many people get to my status and they're on vacation somewhere. Yet still, I show up, because if I don't show up, Anna's not going to show up. If I don't show up, Natalie's not going to show up. So I believe, and this may be a weird thing, but I believe that I am the modern day Harriet Tubman, that I am the modern day freedom fighter for my people. I believe that nobody can show the Black and Latinos how it's done like me. And I do it unapologetically. I'm not trying to be perfect. But I want you to know I got 7 millionaires being inducted into the $1 Million Hall of Fame this year. And I'm very proud because my tough love and my difference made a difference in this industry. And I want to say thank you to you because you allowed me to be me. You've never told me to change. You've never told me to tone it down. If anything, you be like, ghost on me, go. And that's the type of people that I believe we should start surrounding ourselves by, people that appreciate our difference. Like, I'm not trying to be like everybody else. You know, I wear big diamonds because in my mind, I'm an empress. And I'm wearing gems like an empress. And that's what I tell myself, because people try to belittle you. And if you allow them, I always tell my leaders, like, don't let nobody make you forget who you are. As long as you remember who you are, you'll keep raising the bar. That's what we're supposed to do. Remember who we are and raise the bar. And there's no stopping. There is no finish line. There's no finish line until you're dead.
I love it. I love it. I want to ask all of you, and I'm going to come to you next. And so you ready? I want to ask you, what percentage of your network marketing income per month do you invest into your brand? Approximately. What percentage do you invest back into your brand, in building your brand, supporting your brand in various things? What would you guess yours is, Emily? Could you guess?
5%?
5%?
5%, yeah.
Something like that. Stormy, what percentage do you think yours would be?
I make sure that I invest 15% every month. And if I don't, I make up some way. No way do I go under 15%.
15%. Now, and you started that early. So
I started that when I was broke. At $100, I started that.
yeah, everybody up here is $1 million earner. You know, a couple of them $1 million a month earner. So we're talking about big investments. But guess where they started? When they were making 20 grand, and they took 10%.
Yeah.
You know, 20 grand a year, they took 10% of that. You know, a little bit every month, whatever. In a photographer, or in a videographer, or in a logo, or in, you know, some clothing, or whatever it happens to be. So just think about that. What's your percentage approximately, Alex?
I don't know the percentage, but it's probably 40, 50 grand a month back into the brand.
Yeah, okay. Percentage-wise?
Probably around 5%.
5%? How about you?
About 15%.
About 15%? Ash, how about you?
About 10%.
About 10%. All right, cool. So Amber, we were in rehearsal yesterday, and Amber says, and she's being inducted in the $1 Million Hall of Fame, so give her a big round of applause. Come on, everybody.
Thank you.
So she's being inducted later on today, and she says, why did you put me on the branding group? What in the world are you doing? I said, well, I see you as a person who's intentionally putting your brand out there and consistently doing it on social media, et cetera, in order to be able to attract your tribe. That's what I'm seeing. So tell us what you decided to do with that and what kind of difference it made.
Yeah, so I decided to differentiate from my company so that I could attract a higher level of prospect that was more in line with who I am. And, you know, when I first started network marketing, you know, for me, it was all about my story. And I just wanted to be able to attract more people that were in line with that. And also, like, for me, it was about triggering emotion, positive emotions in people. And, you know, when they see the brand, they really feel something and they know and they've arrived and they, you know, that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and how long have you been kind of consciously, because when I look at it, I could go look at any of you people in how you're showing up on the screen or how you're showing up on social, and I can tell just like that if it's intentional or not. When did you decide to make this intentional?
Not that long, actually. Probably around a year.
About a year ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you're in the $1 Million Hall of Fame now. About what were you earning a year ago?
About 50,000 a month.
50,000 a month. So that kind of doubled over the course of the last 12 months.
Tripled.
Tripled. All right, congratulations. So in the triple, how much of the triple do you think you could contribute to an on-purpose focused brand decision? How much of that was attracted? How much of your growth in the last 12 months do you think was because of you raising your brand?
Oh my gosh, so much of it, you know, it allows so many of my team to connect on a deeper level with me. you know, not just personally, but the team brand as well has been huge for us. You know, it's allowed us to scale hugely and really make people feel a part of something, which has just allowed us to grow so much faster. And that's huge.
And also, how much personal recruiting? How much personal recruiting were you able to do because of the branding stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
It becomes kind of effortless.
yeah, exactly.
Right? All of you can recruit any day you feel like it.
Yeah.
It's whenever you feel. Should I go sign up 20 people today? I could. I mean, let me just, or I'll just go jump in. And I'll go sign up some people because the brand created that.
Recruit.
And that's true for everybody, right? So let me ask you this. I'll switch over to Ashton. Talk about what you've decided to do with your brand and what difference it made in your business, because you're wildly successful as well.
Yeah, no, when I got started, I was doing everything myself. I made a decision to bring people on board to help me in different areas that I was weak in. And that's made a big difference in my business. But when I got started initially, I didn't make it about myself. I was trying to help as many people within my organization to help them get their brand off, help them get their face out there so more people will actually see them out there, which should actually help us build a business in the long run. But now it's more focused on helping me take my presence to a next level. So,
yeah. So an interesting thing, because when you build a brand, it shouldn't all just be about you where you're taking all the oxygen out of the room. You should build a brand that's inclusive of other leaders, that's helpful with their egos, because if you build a brand that excludes a potential great leader, they'll find their way out of your organization because they're going to need to have their own sunlight, right? Alex, you've had this same kind of situation. You have incredible, unbelievable top leaders in the top ranks within the company that you represent. How did your brand, when I think of your brand, is tight. It's just tight. Everything's tight, it's sharp, it's good, it's clean, it's great content, right? Looks great, you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. But also, it doesn't exclude any of your leaders. So how did you pull that off?
You include them. I learned early on, you know, my first company, when you make it all about yourself, I learned that people don't want to follow an egomaniac, me show. It's obviously the we show, right? And when you make the switch from me to we, not only will you turn your yearly income into your monthly income, but you feel better about yourself. So with the brand,
we is part of the brand.
We is part of the brand.
Yeah.
When you got the highest paid, you know.
What we're going to do. Here's what we're going to accomplish.
Right.
It's not like, look at me.
Yeah.
And part of it is look at me for inspiration, because I'm, you know, one of the things that I know is part of your brand is you work your ass off. You're on the road. You are
up until COVID
pounding.
Lockdown, it was a plane every 2 days.
I know. And you pivoted. You adapted quickly. And you pivoted to using technology in order to be able to reach people as quick as possible. But I see you're still back out there as best you can, doing the stuff you need. That's part of the brand too, is an example. Many of you, a big piece of your brand, I know, because that's why you're on this panel, is the example. Every day. It's like how you present yourself is a living, breathing documentary. You know, watch me. Yep. Don't just listen to me. Watch me. Watch what I'm doing, right? You know, the amount of people you've all recruited as a part of that process is just outrageous, crazy. Stormy's recruited, I don't know, 6,000 people or some outrageous number. You guys have all recruited huge amounts of people in doing that. But the work ethic, how did you figure out a way to? You said include them, make it about we, but still, you know, being the big dog.
We'll get a partnership. The top, you know, Yvonne, David, and myself, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
We all look different and we're all at the same, you know, pretty much level. So
right.
we make it's always a we thing.
But
that's why it's worked for so long.
But how about like the second level and the third level and fourth level? Are you mentoring them?
Next up. You know, we help them get going. You know, people reach out to me, hey, at what income should I hire a videographer? At what income should I maybe make a logo? You know, I saw you on Grant's show in 2014. How did that happen, right? So I think as, you know, top leaders, we got to give people the keys to the kingdom.
Right.
And help them rise and become bigger than us, right? You start in the back of the room. You want to get to the front of the room.
Right.
But somebody told me a long time ago, you want to get back to the back of the room, and your whole group is in the front on stage, and you're just in the back.
I kind of agree, I kind of agree and I kind of don't.
Okay.
And I'll just give you my 2 cents because it sounds good. You know, fight to get to the front of the room and then get to the back of the room.
But you still got to be in the front.
Yes. I still think no matter how many leaders you have on the team, they still need you.
Yeah.
They still need to see you. They still need to hear you. Some people think, well, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to sit in the back seat. I'm going to go away and they don't need me. And, you know, I don't ever need to speak and they don't need to hear my vision or any of that stuff.
No.
I think that's a mistake.
It is.
Some people want to be, you know, I'm just going to be a ghost. I'm going to be a legend. I'm going to be, you know, unreachable and, you know, nobody's going to know my name. You know, I want nobody to know my name in 5 years and I'm making all this money. I think it's a huge mistake, personally. I think, you know, the team needs you. You'll always be needed on some level, but you don't need to take all the oxygen from the top leaders as you're building your brand. I think it's great. So Natalie, you're a surprise. I didn't know you were coming out, but I'm glad that you're here. What's some of the big things that you've learned in building your brand? Because you're working with Stormy.
Yes.
She's bigger than life. How do you build your brand in the middle of that hurricane? How do you have your own identity there?
Well, first, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And thank you so much, Coach, for allowing me to be your partner, right? As you said, when I joined the business, Coach Stormy was already a big deal, right? And I think it takes confidence in knowing who you are as a person to be able to align yourself with someone with so much energy, right? And to really believe that you can make it as well. So for 4 years, I've been in the industry for 6 years as my first company. And for 4 years, I already was an entrepreneur. I had my salon. And I was really just working on myself. And I was okay with just being a six-figure earner, right? The shift that really changed my business is when I looked up and I realized I was just doing barely enough, right? And I was so consumed with the brand of Natalie, but I shift the brand of Natalie and how I can impact people's lives. One thing I noticed about Coach Stormy was that although she's big and she's a lot of energy, she always wants to see the people win. So what I did was I had to make a big decision. I put my nonprofit to the side. And when I say put to the side, it no longer was my priority anymore, right? I put my traditional business I have a storefront now in Houston, Texas in the Galleria Mall. That is my third priority. And my network marketing business is my first priority because as a big brand, my people are watching me. So I just lead by example. I lead by example. I'm very consistent. And I show that you can still be yourself and you can still co-brand with big energy and you can still lead your people on your own, terms.
Right. So here's what I'd like you all to do. I'd like you all to take 2 or 3 minutes. And there's a bunch of people watching this right now saying this does not apply to me. This doesn't apply to me. I'm making $500 a month. What difference does a brand make for me? You know, there's phase 1, 0 to 100,000. They're like, what do I need a brand for? Or I don't know if I even like my brand or whatever. There's 100,000 to $1 million. Then there's $1 million plus, 3 different phases, and people in all those different phases here. What advice do you have for them on a practical level? Why should they do it, and what should they do in order to be able to build and strengthen their brand? Ashton, we'll start with you.
First of all, you just got to find a way to stand out because, you're in business with other people, right? People are going to see you before they actually see your company. How are you going to present yourself? Well, how are you going to inspire people? How are you going to educate people? You have to find a way to stand out. Be educating people on your products, educate people on different aspects of your business or entrepreneurship. That's the approach that I took, educating people on financial industry. And that worked really well because so many people just weren't aware, right? Wasn't trying to sell people. I was just giving information. And on the back end, people reached out to find more how they can actually apply some of the things that we actually thought, right? You have to find a way to your appearance. How do you show up? You always have to ask yourself, are you going to do business with yourself based on how you show up? A lot of people want to become big brands, or they don't think that they can become a big brand, but it starts with the little things. Just get started. You know, you don't have to go hire somebody else $1,000 to get pictures, but get some nicer pictures. You can take quality
You can find a
pictures.
friend that's a photographer. Just
Absolutely.
take a bunch of pictures until you find something great.
Take, you know, in the beginning it's going to be messy. You know, start making short videos, 2-3 minute videos, just explaining something or inspiring people. It doesn't always have to be about sell. Just uplift somebody else. Just think about the people that's in your position right now that wants to change their life, right? Inspire somebody to go out there and do what it is that they need to take care of themselves and their family. You got to start with the end in mind. It's not just about what you're currently going through right now. It's about where you want to go. For a lot of people, they're trying to compare themselves to other people. They have to find a way to be authentically you and build from that.
Yeah, like I copied some of the things from Jim Rohn's brand. And anybody who knew Jim Rohn would see some of the things that I copied from him. Like some of the things, I'm inspired by Tony, but I'm not going to be that. He intimidates me a little bit, even as in person. He's the same person on you know, sitting on the couch next to you as he is on stage, and it's just like, whoa. He took the person on stage. He took that person home. I mean, I tried to do that. My battery is just like, you know, an iPhone 3. It just goes like to zero so fast by trying to have that type of energy. So I had to find my own little mode in order to be able to do it. Anyway, Natalie, what advice do you have for people practically? You know, where do they start? What's one of the first things they should do?
Well, the first thing I would say is your vibe will attract your tribe, right? So for me, I don't want to be the girl that's trying to master Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram. On social media, I choose Instagram right now. Not saying you can't do everything, but you have to find a playground and you have to be consistent.
You're crushing
okay?
on
Thank
Instagram.
you.
Yeah.
My social media attracted over 2,000
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
About like 264,000 followers.
264,000? What do you have, Ashley?
1 million.
1 million? Emily?
I think 500,000.
500,000? Alex?
Million.
1 million?
9,000.
9,000? Ah, come on. Stormy, how many good followers you got on Instagram?
Over 1.2 million.
1.2 million. I mean, all of this is the result of the brand and being consistent, right?
Yes.
So just pick a platform and be consistent.
Yes.
That's your advice. Emily, what's your advice?
Stop being so boring. Okay, I see people out there and it's like you copy and paste quotes. I don't even know you. I go to your page and I'm like, boring. It's like a snooze fest, okay? Don't take offense, this is coaching. What I would do, go to Amazon and get a little stick. They have those little iPhone sticks. And when you're working, since you all work your business, capture those moments. Even if you're riding solo in your house, if you're on a coaching call, turn on the camera, get a 1-minute sound bite, upload it to your Instagram stories, upload it to a reel. So when you're working, there should be many moments throughout the day where you can capture content, if you're actually doing the work. Okay, so if your company's like, hey, we launched a new product, we want you to do in-homes, or I don't know, they have an event they want you to promote to, you need to show that you're doing that, okay? There was a moment where we started doing in-homes again, getting that intimate connection, and I'm like, I don't need to do a freaking in-home, okay? But I'm doing them. And I'm showing people I'm doing them. And we're spicing it up and making it great. And we're showing the culture and the community, which everyone is looking for, the culture and community. So I would showcase throughout the day. And again, maybe, you know, the other day I was doing an interview and I had a nice blazer on, but I had sweatpants on the bottom. And then like, you know, some great shoes. And I just showed them like, this is real life. So show them real life. So many of you are so amazing. You're raising babies, you're working full-time jobs, you're getting home and working your network marketing business from 8 to 10. Freaking show that. Show that you're working your side hustle. So have a mixture of it. So again, go on Amazon, get the little iPhone thing, showcase everything. If you sell products, be a product of the product. If you sell services, you know, showcase that, showcase testimonies. And if you're like, I still don't know what to do, I would just map out the week and have a day, a theme for every day. Transformation Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Freedom Friday, and then post that.
And I would also tell you, copy what other people are doing. If you struggle with creativity, raise your hands if you struggle trying to think of a good idea. If you struggle with creativity, just go look at what's trending on TikTok. Go look at the people you admire on Instagram. See what they're doing. Like Alex does a post that he does on Instagram, I think every day, that says, you know, I'm going to do this thing in 3 minutes. Yeah. In 3 minutes, there's going to be this, and it's a cool picture of Alex, and it's 3 minutes later, whoever posts something, you know, gets some little prize or whatever. But it's one of the things he does consistent. Is it every day?
Yeah, we were given a couple bucks here and there, but we took the money away. But every day we post live in 3 minutes, like a new post.
I'm going to be live in 3 minutes, or there's going to be a post in 3 minutes. And he's trained his community that this is part of what it is that they do. So just watch what somebody does. Maybe you do something like he did, and you do your version of it. Or if somebody talks about a topic that's a good topic, take your take on it. Or put them next to you talking about it, and you just react to them talking about it. Or however you want to do it. But Alex, what advice do you have for people? Where do they start?
Well, they got to start. You know, every journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. And you know, I was posting videos on Facebook in 2011, and my mom would like it, my dad would like it, my sister would comment, and that was it. You know, now fast forward 2021, a lot has obviously changed. But if you're watching this, whether you're making $500 a month or $5,000 a day, you got to start. You got to be authentic. You got to really put the people first and just be consistent. I think it's the biggest thing in this business is people have got to learn to post every day. You know, maybe take one day off, right? But at least 6 days a week, you got to be giving value. You got to be authentic. And like you said, take from other people. You know,
let me jump in for just 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of this is about social. But I promise you, all these people, the way they show up in real life is also on purpose. It might not be as fancy as this, but it's as on purpose as this. I mean, it is intentional. Those sweatpants are intentional.
Oh, yeah.
Those sneakers are intentional. You know what I mean? Even if they're getting their hair done or whatever, that's intentional. It's all intentional. So it's not, I want you to know, I want you to show up in the world intentionally, not just on social. When you go to the grocery store, people say, who is that? When you go to the mall, people should say, who are you and what do you do?
Yep. It's got to transition from the digital world into the physical. And then everyone just got to understand that we're living in the best time ever opportunity-wise to build a brand and capitalize on the digital era.
This is literally, there's beachfront property. Every one of you, it would sound egotistical to talk about 10 years ago, that all of you could be a profitable brand. But you all can in our profession. Your brand should make you money. Your brand should bring you recruits. Your brand should cause your team to take more action. And that's our job as a leader, is to cause our team to take more action. So Amber, what advice do you have for people?
So first thing I would say is you have to have clarity on what your brand is and who you are, and make a step to actually just brain dump everything out onto a piece of paper. You know, when I first started, I used to find this so overwhelming. I was like, am I the mom? Am I the young girl? Who am I? Like, who am I talking to? Really figure out who you want to be known as. What do you want to be known for? And it's going to make it a lot easier to show up. I would say that for start. Then have certainty within that. You know, it's so important. People feel that from you. It's incredibly important, and you have to master this by practicing, and it's going to be messy. It always is. Like, I'm still messy now, you know?
You're gonna screw it up.
Still growing, still moving forward, but taking the first step. Don't focus on the full staircase. Just focus on the first step, and consistency, of course. You know, it's so. Everybody says it, but it's so important. If you're not consistent, you may as well start again at the start every time.
Yeah, and it's like some of you might need to really simplify because you don't have the money to look fancy. You know, a lot of these people have a lot of money, so they can look really fancy, spend a lot of money on their clothes and stuff. But like Dean Graziosi is an example. He wears a T-shirt every day.
Same one.
Same T-shirt.
He does.
Good Life T-shirts. He loves those T-shirts. But he wears, that's all, and it's like Steve Jobs used to wear the black whatever top and and jeans or whatever, and that was what he wore. That was his uniform, so he didn't have to think about it. Some of you, maybe your look will be that same consistent, basic look that doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but is still intentional. You know, maybe it's a look with a different hat because you like wearing hats. Or maybe it's a certain color that you're going to be known for the color. Just don't get hung up on, I can't do this because I don't have a lot of money. Just start. So Stormy, what advice do you have for people as they're going to go out there and build their brand and expand their influence in network marketing?
Well, the first thing I would say is that I remember when I had 3 pair of pants from Old Navy, a black pair, a gray pair, and a brown pair. And I wore them every day, and I made it feel like a uniform when I was broke. But going back to what I'm hearing every panelist say, and salute to the panelists, is the consistency. But I also want to tell you guys a little trick that I've learned throughout the years from my celebrity entertainer friends. And write this down. It's the double A. Every woman has to aspire to be like you, ladies. Whether it's the housekeeper or the stay-at-home mom. Every woman needs to aspire to be like you if you are a lady. And as a lady, every man should admire you to see a wife in you, someone who he want his wife or someone that he could look at as a mother figure. And so that's something that I've used, my little secret sauce, aspire and admire. And then every day I show up. Live your life as if your Instagram page is teaching people how to live their life. I repeat, live your life as if whatever social media platform you choose to tap into is teaching people how to live their life. I wake up, I show people what I do from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, to the point where when I don't show up, people want to know, where are you? What's going on? And I didn't really try to do that. I just learned from one of my favorite mentors that consistency is the key to success. And so I'm always consistent. And I'll give you a nice caveat. It's called HEAM. Every time you post, if you're looking for a way to post, what should I post? Number one, think about your audience. Stop trying to win people over that's not your audience. There are some people that's never gonna like you. They're not gonna like where you come from. They're not gonna like how you talk, how you dress. They're just not gonna like you. And there's nothing that you could do about those people. But once you identify with the people that like you, they like you. You gotta think about these 4 things. The H is humility. Am I being humble with this post? Remember, humility is the key that unlocks the door to abundance. And so every day, no matter how much money I make, no matter how big storm is in life, I'm always remembering where I came from and remaining humble. The E is educate. Every day we should be educating the masses, and don't educate them from where you are right here, educate them from where you were. So every post I'm asking myself, is this educating the masses? The second E in HEAM is entertaining. I've learned not to be so serious. Like, live life. Like, let them see you laugh. Let them see you fall. Let them see you cry, you know, entertain them. Because this is really kind of like show business. And then the M is motivate. And so every post is humility, educate, entertain, motivate. And remember, give people a reason to aspire and to admire to be the woman or the man that you are. And I believe that that is some of my secret sauce, and remaining consistent through it all and showing up every day as if my social media page is teaching somebody else how to live.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, listen, let me tell you what I'd like to do. This panel has been amazing, and we talked about this quite a bit, but I want everybody at home, we're going to send you to a breakout again. But before I do that, I want to thank Ashton, Natalie, Emily, Alex, Amber, and Stormy. Give them all a big round of applause for their contribution. You're all amazing. You guys can stay here. So here's the question. You guys just stay here for a moment. Here's the question. When we go to the breakout, I want you to share with others, when people see you, what do you want them to think? What do you want to be known for? Okay? We're going to put you in groups of 4 or 5. Countdown timer for 12 minutes. This time, the longest haired person in the group is the timekeeper, and the shortest hair goes first. I'd go first if I was in your group, probably. Other rules are the same. Everybody gets 2 minutes, equal share, equal voice. 60-second timer is going to be a warning, wrap up the conversation. You don't need to do anything. We send you to the breakouts. We bring you back. Okay, so play full out and share, even if you haven't fully thought it out. What would you like to be known for? What would you like people to say in their minds or out loud when they think about you? What do you want them to think? What do you want them to say? Okay, that's the assignment. We'll be back in 12 minutes.
Speed away from the holy mind. Pride, that's where I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road to end. Lost my head over
We good?
Come here, man. You can't be hiding.
Are we live?
Stand by. Microphones are hot. Stand by. Let me know when he needs to go.
La 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 la. Okay, Facebook people, this is it. We hope you enjoyed the morning. This whole group's amazing. But if you want to watch the rest, you're going to get like Stormy Wellington. She's doing a keynote a little bit later. The Hall of Famers are going to be a little bit. We got Ed Milet coming up in just a minute.
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins coming. All of that's just today. So come back. This is the last time, so we're kind of saying goodbye. Goodbye. It's so sad. But if you're watching, you should go to forget all that. Go to GoPro2021.com, get a ticket, and join us for the rest of this event. It's epic. It's amazing. And these people, all you're going to hear from is $1 million earners and crushers. So you guys tell them why they need to do it. Go. You tell them.
Invest in yourself. Get your ticket. I mean, if you're not moved by what you've already heard this morning, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to just go get your ticket, get the upgrade. This will be a weekend that will change your life. Trust me, you go to Starbucks, you go to Target, you spend the money anyway. Spend it on your mindset, and I promise you it will be worth it.
Natalie, how about you?
One decision of just showing up will change your life. I remember when I came to my first GoPro event, I did not know what I was walking into, but I got the information I needed to be able to excel, and now I'm a multi-million-dollar earner in this company. So imagine getting your ticket, showing up, applying the information, and your life really changing in 2022.
Ashton.
Your family is dependent on you to showing up. So guys, make a decision, get started. Go ahead and click that link, get that ticket, because you need this for your family. You need to become a bigger version of yourself to be able to take yourself to the next level. That starts with the education that you're going to put in your mind to help you attract the right set of people to you to build amazing business here in the network marketing space. Get that ticket.
Amber.
For me, this is only my second GoPro. Last year was my first one. So in that time, I've managed to elevate so much more. Thanks for the skills that I have received, the vision that it gave me. You need to get your ticket so you can surround yourself with higher energy and elevate your mindset, your business, and your bank account.
And the Alex Morton mindset.
Make that decision. Listen, I've known Eric now for almost 11 years, and I can tell you that there's no better event in the world for entrepreneurs, and especially network marketing, this one right here. I sat in Green Valley Ranch when I was making a couple $1,000s a month, and now I've been on stage 5 times. This is the best event ever. The ticket price is very cheap. You're in from world-class entrepreneurs and thought leaders. So make the decision for you, your family, and your future family. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. Let's go.
All right, everybody, that's it. Facebook, goodbye.
Let's go.
GoPro2021.com. See you later.